Lyles here. It's a Friday. It's a football Friday, powered by the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. And unfortunately, we're coming off a very miserable football Thursday.
What was that?
That was, I think it was a consensus. I mean, we're seeing it right now on our text line. Everyone saw it last night. If you watched it, if you saw it play out on social media, a near consensus that might have been one of the worst Thursday night football games of all time. Recency bias because it just happened. But that was awful, and we can talk about it for a number of reasons. You know, maybe teams shouldn't be playing on Thursday nights. That's become evident with how long the season is, how banged up you get, and just how much of a beating the body takes during a football game. But it also was very sloppy. I mean, the Seahawks have played on a Thursday night this year. That didn't look that bad. There are a couple other reasons why I think that game was so bad, and it does kind of relate to the Seahawks and the direction they could be in. But before we get into any of that, I need to throw something out there for you, Maura, and Lyle, and the listeners. So please chime in on the Mac and Jack's text line, on the text line, 866-979-3776. I am only thinking about one thing right now. Maura, I want to know how you feel about this. I know Lyle's going to hate it. Yes, but it's food-related. So Taco Bell has come out with a Mountain Dew Baja Blast pie.
I saw this. Mike Golick Jr. is the one that I always see the new sweets on his face.
Yes, and that's where I saw it. And now that's the only thing I can think of. So at 10 o'clock, the second we're done here, I'm going to find a Taco Bell and go get it. Now, does that sound appealing or does that sound awful?
Sounds awful.
Okay. Lyle, you agree, don't you?
I don't know. Baja Blast pie?
Well, have you had Baja Blast, the drink? And it's good.
They are good. Okay. But for pie, I think I'm out.
Okay. Well, hey, if anyone has another opinion there, I think it's going to be consensus that everyone hates it. And, you know, you're terrified if you eat it. For me, I understand that. But if you do think it'll be good, chime in 866-979-3776. Or if there's another out there food.
The color is definitely Baja Blast.
It is not a natural occurring color in nature.
There's a KFC Taco Bell combo in Queen Anne, not far from here.
Okay. Well, I say all that because I think that game last night was the equivalent of the Baja Blast pie. So there was a stat this morning from a guy, the director of Next Gen Stats. He put out there that last night's game was the first time since 1976 when two expansion teams, the Seahawks and the Bucs, played, and they were both 0-5, the first time that both teams committed more penalties than had first downs. 11 penalties committed by both the Raiders and the Broncos, 10 first downs by both of those teams. And after all of that, and I'm going to focus on the Raiders side a little bit because we have that familiarity with Pete Carroll, and he is in his first year there. Maura, something you brought up really seems to contrast with what we saw from the Raiders. The fact that Mike Macdonald has been able to make adjustments and make adjustments quickly and kind of get the best out of his players. And then you take a guy in Pete Carroll right now, and I know you guys had a lot to react to after that Chiefs game where you played his comments about, hey, I thought we were really prepared. And then they lost 31-0 and had like 3 total first downs and had no yardage. So to have that and to see the Raiders still look thoroughly unprepared, especially on offense last night, and then you can contrast that to Mike Macdonald and what he's done with a team that has dealt with a handful of injuries, it just kind of shows the difference between coaching in the NFL and how much of an impact that can make.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard to make a exact comparison because the Raiders were a little bit of a mess already. I'm not sure bringing in Geno Smith was the best choice, but they have a horrible offensive line too. But anyways, yeah, I think one of the things that Mike Macdonald has shown that he's willing to do is make swift decisions. Like they send the 2 linebackers that they signed in the offseason last year away before the season's even over, Tyrell Dodson and Jerome Baker. Ryan Grubb didn't work out. He's like, all right, next, let's get Clint Kubiak in here, and that works. And I do think that Pete Carroll is an amazing person, amazing coach. We all loved him here, but I think sometimes he was a little loyal to a fault and not willing to make those changes with players that weren't working and with people on the coaching staff that maybe weren't working. I think it had to be kind of forced on him more. And what I've been impressed with Mike Macdonald is that even when he's willing to make those choices with players like a Tyrese Knight who lost his starting role to Drake Thomas this year, or, he's publicly criticized Reek Woolen and there's been trade rumors out there. Somehow he's been able to maintain an environment where these guys those guys just want to prove themselves and get back in the good graces, get back in there and compete instead of, possibly we've seen it in other situations, becoming toxic and becoming a distraction to the team or checking out. So I thought it was pretty cool after the win on Sunday night to hear Tyrese Knight specifically get a shout out for having to play more after Ernest Jones' injury. And also Reek Woolen was the guy standing right next to him, hyping everyone up as he was naming the guys that had big nights.
Yeah, here was Mike Macdonald, like you mentioned, in that post-game celebration, giving the shout-out to Tyrese Knight.
This guy and I had a good conversation in the last series, but this man, look, this guy's gone through some adversity. We're talking about the ready squad, okay? We talk about 70, talking about 12 as one. Guys going out, guys stepping up, guys staying ready. That's putting it to life right there. But this guy's gone through his adversity. Okay, we call his number at the end of the half. He ends up leading the team in tackles with 9 tackles. Tyrese Knight.
Yeah, he was huge, and it is something where, hey, if you lose your starting job, you could sulk and be frustrated and maybe tune someone out and just say, well, this guy is not someone I want to work with. What does he know? He benched me. But to see Tyrese Knight back in there playing a big role, and what we expect will be a big role on Sunday, we'll get the final injury report coming up later this afternoon. Ernest Jones sounds better than initially feared. He's been limited in practice, but I don't know if you really want to rush him back, especially with 8 games after this and then the playoffs. So if Tyrese Knight's the guy, you're going to need someone like that who is thoroughly motivated. And it was interesting that you brought up Reek Woolen as well, Maura, because Bob Condotta yesterday was on with Wyman and Bob, and he mentioned that the Seahawks have really liked this buy-in from Woolen over the last few weeks.
But yeah, I think the way he has handled this the last couple of weeks probably made him more apt to want to keep him. It sounds like he's really, they have had these injuries, and suddenly, Josh Jobe obviously got hurt. He had to go in, and Macdonald, really praised him on Monday for the fact that he had to basically play a role that they hadn't practiced him all week, essentially, because he was going to play in that game. You saw the first series, he was playing as the 6th DB, essentially. When they put 6 DBs on the field, he was the last one. He was the guy coming in as a 6th corner.
I know he was the name thrown around maybe more often than even someone like Boye Mafe. Those are the two names,
Which has
right?
to be tough for guys, too. And I just think it's a special quality that Mike Macdonald has to keep these guys engaged and not have them check out or become toxic.
We're seeing this. I mean, you could go to any team around the NFL, and it is really next man up. And I like that the Seahawks kind of refer to it as the ready squad. And sure, that's, a way to dress up the practice squad. But it is important because you can name a team, and they have injuries. They have key guys who have gone down for some chunk of time. Look at the Cardinals this week. Kyler Murray, okay, maybe he's been benched, but he's also on IR. The Niners, who were sitting here kind of watching from afar until the Seahawks meet them again. Brock Purdy has barely played. He got hurt in week 1, came back, re-aggravated an injury. He's been out since week 4, and they're 6-2 because of Mac Jones. So for the Seahawks to get these contributions without someone like Julian Love, and then with Josh Jobe, who had taken over that cornerback spot, then he gets hurt, and all of a sudden Reek Woolen has to come back in. And I know Mike Macdonald talked about it. There are a lot of things in that game that Reek Woolen, they didn't necessarily practice with him game week, but he had been ready, and he has been ready for his role. He pops in, and he does a good job there. Tyrese Knight's certainly important with
even guys like Ty
linebacker
Okada,
depth. Yeah.
who the first time he had his name called this season, it didn't look so great.
And then he has
But
an interception.
He was ready when he got his chance again.
Yeah, so a lot to get to. The injuries are going to be a big factor, though, on Sunday for both teams, for the Seahawks and for the Cardinals. We will get into all of that. 253 sums up the state of the Baja Blast Pie and this show. This is a great text. Thank you for making me laugh this early in the morning. 253 says, the Baja Blast Pie will be as good as you as a show host, Lefko. Take that how you will. Spoiler alert, it's not great. Oh, no. All right. Well, I threw that out there for making people think about Taco Bell pie at 6 a.m. on a Friday. But thanks for tuning in. We have a lot coming up. Brock is going to pop on at 7. We're going to get an Arizona preview from Jake Garcia. Used to work here at King 5. Now works at a TV station in Phoenix. He'll join us at 9:30. And G. Scott, as always, at 8:30 coming up. But there are a lot of injuries to get to and some news around the NFL that we need to catch you up on. That is everything you need to know coming up next. It's Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Wyman and Bob.
Sam Darnold has been sacked just 9 times this year.
Every afternoon at 2.
How much of that do you put on the pass protection he's getting versus how quickly he's getting rid of the ball?
The offensive line's doing their job, but I would say hitting a spot like 35, 40 yards downfield that's so tiny. I mean, that is really impressive, but the most rare talent to me is a guy who can move around the pocket and keep his eyes downfield.
Only on Seattle Sports and Seattle Sports on YouTube.
If you use carpool or toll lanes along SR 167 without a Good-to-Go account, you'll now receive a bill in the mail. That is a change. A Good-to-Go pass saves $2 on every toll. That is not a change. Learn more at goodtogo167.com.
For the first time ever, enjoy 0% interest for 60 months with equal monthly payments, plus 15% off new windows and doors only from Lake Washington Windows. Voted the best in the Northwest for comfort, quality, and savings. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Are your investment dollars working as hard as they should be? You've spent years building your future. Don't let outdated advice put it at risk. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. We're a veteran-owned firm proud to bring a new standard of financial care to the Seattle area. Our nationally recognized advisors are fiduciaries, ethically bound to put your interests first. That's the highest standard of care in the industry. As a privately held company, we answer to you, our valued clients, not shareholders. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a customized plan. From Bellevue to Tacoma, get advice you can count on. It's time to take a fresh look at your financial plan. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-466-3300. That's 206-466-3300. Trajan Wealth. Plan smarter, dream bigger.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/play.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
The birth of the American supercar is roaring into LeMay, America's Car Museum, starting October 25th. Curated by racing icon Steve Saleen, this electrifying exhibition showcases the evolution of American speed, style, and engineering, featuring icons like Hennessy, Shelby, Zinger, and more. From raw horsepower to groundbreaking design, this is the ultimate tribute to performance. Don't miss the birth of the American supercar, opening October 25th at LeMay, America's Car Museum. Visit americascarmuseum.org to learn more.
It's game time, and Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton are lining up with a roster that's built to dominate the field. The gas-powered RAV4, built to power through every drive, rain or shine. Or switch up the play with the hybrid RAV4, versatile, efficient, and always moving the chains. The Tacoma, tough, dependable, and clutch when it counts. And now, taking the field, the all-new 2026 Toyota Tundra, redesigned, powerful, and built for the big moments. Whether you're in the north or the south, Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton have your winning ride. Visit toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com.
O'Brien. Guys, tired all the time, gaining weight, low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. Right now, Revive Men's Health Washington is making it easier to get answers with a comprehensive wellness panel. It's not just a lab test, it's where better performance begins. Our providers will check your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. A $400 value for just $99, or free if you start treatment. Over 120,000 men have trusted Revive to restore their energy, mood, and confidence. So if you're ready to feel better and live stronger, call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Offer ends November 30th. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Seahawks injury report was lengthy yesterday, especially when it comes to the wide receivers. Bear with me here. I'm going to rattle off all the wide receivers who are dealing with something. Jake Bobo did not practice for the second straight day. Same with Derek Young. Now, Cooper Kupp, he did improve to limited in practice with a hamstring and a heel injury. That's trending in the right direction. But some more concerning news, Torrey Horton, after fully participating on Wednesday, did not practice yesterday with groin and shin injuries. So all of that to say, well, it turned what seemed like a position of depth and maybe a luxury to bring in Rasheed Shaheed into one that actually needs some reinforcement. Good thing he's here. What are the expectations for him? We'll certainly dig into that over the course of today and as we get into Sunday. But Sam Darnold, he was excited and he's already been impressed with what he's seen from Shaheed.
To be honest, the way that he is right now, though, just meeting him, he seems like he's got a really good head on his shoulders. He understands kind of what to expect in terms of the offense and all those things. So we're just going to, any questions, I feel like he's done a really good job already of asking questions and, being curious about kind of his role and what we're asking him to do. So he's been really good that way.
Couple of other injuries to get to. A.J. Barner was also limited with a calf injury, as was Ernest Jones with his knee. He has been limited the first 2 days of injury reports. We will see what happens on today, the final injury report before game statuses on Sunday. The Ernest Jones one, certainly one to watch. All those receivers will make it kind of interesting to see what role Rasheed Shaheed will be, but it does seem like he will have an important one in his debut with the Seahawks.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Well, MLB free agency officially began yesterday. 13 players were tendered qualifying offers, including the big free agent bats, Kyle Tucker, Kyle Schwarber, and Bo Bichette. I don't have to dive into the semantics of those qualifying offers, but it's strange because, a team is penalized a draft pick if they sign one of those players, if a player declines the qualifying offer and then another team signs them, that team is penalized. Meanwhile, the team that offered them the qualifying offer does get a draft pick, and all of these big bats, as you'd assume, they're expected to turn down those offers. The qualifying offer is for $22.2 million this season. Then we will see the inevitable, they turn it down, and free agency will begin essentially in earnest. But it is underway. And as for all this applying to the Mariners, GM Justin Hollander was on with MLB Network Radio yesterday, and he made it clear Josh Naylor is our number one priority, and he's not going to hide behind that.
For whatever reason, he's just always seen the ball well at T-Mobile and sort of instantly took off from the moment we acquired him. And it was a great fit, and it is definitely a priority for us this offseason. If not one, I don't know what else would be. He's number one right now.
Now, it was interesting because then the host kind of asked him, like, whoa, don't you want to get some leverage here? Why are you being so effusive in your praise of Josh Naylor? Was that going to be more difficult because now he knows, we really want to get him back? And Justin Hollander countered, hey, we don't need to hide. Like, we know, and Josh Naylor knows how we feel about him.
Yeah, I don't really see a reason. There's no advantage to hiding the ball, to telling people. It was just fine. It wasn't just fine. It was awesome. It was a great fit for the 2 months, and we'd like to make it last a lot longer. He fits in our clubhouse. Positionally, he fills a position of need. It's a real left-handed bat that plays an excellent first base, that runs the base as well. He does a lot of things well. Why wouldn't you say that this would be awesome if we could have Josh in the long term? He fits great, and he's our priority.
All right, so the Mariners certainly want him back. What will it cost, though? There are some projections out there. ESPN's Kylie McDaniel has a very nice, comprehensive breakdown of his top 50 free agents, has a little blurb on each one of them, and then throws a salary projection for each one of them out there. We've seen some wildly different takes on what it might actually cost for Josh Naylor. This is what Kylie McDaniel said. He threw out the range of 3 years, $52.5 million. Seems pretty reasonable. I'm not sure if that would be too cheap. Lyle, you perked up. What do you think about that projection? What do you think it might actually cost for Naylor?
If that's what it costs, if I'm the Mariners, I'm signing and running with it. I honestly don't think that's that far off. He might get a fourth year because of his age, but $17 million roughly per year for a first baseman honestly seems about the right ballpark.
Yeah, especially with, the projection for Jorge Polanco going around $15 million per year. So if you're going to do that for Polanco, why not do it for Josh Naylor? I did see Daniel Kramer put maybe close to the range of $20 million. I guess 17.5 is close to 20, so no one will know until it actually happens. But there is one metric to kind of hang your hat on when it comes to a potential salary for Josh Naylor. ESPN's Kylie McDaniel saying, hey, he's looking at 3 years, $52.5 million, which would be about $17.5 million per season.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
We mentioned this to start the show, that Thursday night football game. It was less than ideal to watch, a little bit painful on the eyes, but the Broncos are the first team to 8 wins this season. They got a block punt late in the third quarter, led to a field goal, and that was ultimately the difference in a 10-7 win over the Raiders. Each team had 10 first downs, and each team committed 11 penalties. And Bill Smith, the director of Next Gen Stats, pointed out that that's the first time since Seahawks-Bucks in 1976 that both teams have had more penalties than first downs. I don't know what your excuse is, Broncos and Raiders, yesterday, because the Seahawks and Bucks were expansion teams, and they were both 0-5. I guess you can point to, hey, Thursday Night Football, really tough to bounce back after just 3 days between games. So, okay, we'll give them that pass. And the Seahawks, they've already played one Thursday night game. They have another one towards the end of the season. We don't have to focus on that stretch yet, but that could be one of the most pivotal stretches of the season. You play the Colts on the Sunday before that, and then the Rams here on Thursday Night Football. You end the season after that with Panthers and 49ers. Those are worries for a future week and future month, but that's something to think about when we look at that Thursday Night Football game. And certainly you look at what it does to teams. The Raiders now 2-7 on the season. And the noise is growing a little louder about it potentially being Pete Carroll's only season in Vegas. We'll talk about that a little bit later when Brock joins us as well. But we've heard a couple of comments. I know you guys played a comment from Amy Trask, the former Raiders CEO, about Pete Carroll possibly being done. Frank Schwab of Yahoo Sports echoed the same with Wyman and Bob yesterday.
Brock said that went along with what he's hearing.
And
too.
Brock has said a similar thing. So yeah, it feels like it could be one and done. And Pete Carroll, I know he's always going to be positive, but what he says post-game doesn't always mesh with the results on the field. And certainly you can understand him saying something like this, but I don't know if that's the best tone to strike after a game where the Raiders look completely out of it.
The way that they competed was just what we're hoping for. I mean, it's just what we're looking for. And could we not clip a guy? Could we not hold a guy? Yeah. Could we not pick a guy? Yeah. There's so many things we can get better at, but the fight is in this dog now. Ain't no doubt about it. And I couldn't wait to tell them how proud I was of the way they competed.
I guess that applies to the defense. Defense was impressive. They held the Broncos offense in check, made that team look pretty bad for most of the game. The offense was not good, and the Raiders, their only win since week 1 came against the Titans, a team that is just pretending to be a professional football team. So that's everything you need to know as we turn our attention back to this matchup, the Seahawks and the Cardinals. And if there's one thing that could predict a pattern, well, Trent Green is part of the broadcast of this game coming up on Sunday. He did one other Seahawks game this season, and it was a wild one. So if it plays out the same way, who knows what might happen on Sunday. We'll hear from Trent Green coming up next. Mike Lefko in for Brock and Salk here on Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2.
You and I got into a debate. They needed to make a statement. You were like, they're a good team that's kind of flown under the radar, but I think they like that.
To me, I use the word like signature win. I guess you can't make a statement, but I like signature. I like that because signature win is like, all right, beat the team you're supposed to beat, like dominate this game. We want to feel like this game is over by halftime, and that's what they did.
Only on Seattle Sports on 710, Seattle Sports on YouTube, and the Seattle Sports app.
Imagine all that could happen in 5 years. Jobs may change, kids will grow, new memes will come out, but also, what if you had reliable, intelligent Wi-Fi and the price didn't change for 5 years? Well, thanks to the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee, you actually don't have to worry about that part of your future. You're guaranteed 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to your devices that need them the most, that finds and fixes any issues before you even notice them. It's like a super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected from threats online. Plus, well, you get incredible gaming speeds on multiple devices with no one battling for bandwidth. And for the next 5 years, all your devices will be working in perfect harmony. And you get our best equipment with no annual contracts, no fees, and no strings. So even though kids will grow up and you still won't understand 6, 7, your internet will stay sharp, reliable, and most importantly, the price will stay put. All with the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Select plans only.
What's your holiday tradition? It's G. Scott here. For me, it's gathering with loved ones around a meal that brings joy. For many families, that tradition feels out of reach. Next time you shop at Safeway, please donate to Nourishing Neighbors. Your gift provides groceries to families across Washington, giving them access to nutritious food and the dignity to shop like the rest of us and choose what's meaningful for their holiday table. Visit nourishingneighbors.com and donate at your Safeway checkout. That's nourishingneighbors.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Caffeine doesn't have to be bitter or boring anymore. 5-Hour Energy shots are bringing the flavor and energy. One of my personal favorites, Strawberry Banana. It's giving smoothie vibes in a compact caffeinated shot. Whether you like your energy sour, fruity, or tropical, with 17 flavors, there's something for everyone. And yeah, it's got as much caffeine as a 12-ounce cup of coffee, but with zero sugar and no crash. Big flavor, tiny bottle, tasty caffeine done right. You can grab yours in-store or hit up 5hourenergy.com or order on Amazon today.
Your new home is now ready. D.R. Horton, America's builder, has new homes that are ready today. With new construction communities throughout the Puget Sound and Central Washington areas and more coming, D.R. Horton has the right home for you. At D.R. Horton, we're still building with more construction, more communities, and more homes available every day. Find your new home, now ready at drhorton.com. That's drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Want more Seahawks content? Join me, G. Scott, on The Reset. New episodes of the podcast every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or on the Seattle Sports app.
The LJ way is.
You look at stuff like this and it's like, I don't want to come into an industry and work on a place that is going to compromise how I feel about myself. I get to go to work every day with good people and I get to enjoy what I do because I'm out there just trying to do right by people I care about, which is our community. We're going to see them at the grocery store. I'm going to see them at the sports tournaments. 2 friends of our daughters came in last night just on the lot, didn't know I was there. And it was cool because you got to take them through and they're going to buy a car for their first driver and a car for their kid going to school soon. These are the people that you're going to work with. And so you better make sure that your laundry's clean. I don't think Lee Johnson specifically, right, Speedway Chevrolet, where I'm at, I don't think they've ever had a problem with the community of being able to stand up and look them in the eye and know that they did their job well.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Progressive knows road trips without your pet can be tough.
Hi, this is Next Stop Dog Boarding.
Hi, it's Scott again. How's Squeaks doing? You can tell if he's stressed by his eyebrows. Oh, and his breathing should sound like this.
Scott, Squeaks is exactly the same as last time you called.
Okay, let's talk in 20 to see if anything's changed.
With Progressive, your pet is covered up to $1,000 in vet bills in case of a car accident. So next time, you can take your pet with you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
All right, what are you doing this weekend? Get to Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. So many good reasons why, but if you're watching the games, it's spectacular. The whole new sports bar is awesome. 60-plus TVs, indoor-outdoor concept, great views, great food. There's an awesome pool. The hotel is great. The new expanded non-smoking gaming floor, the whole deal. Go to snocasino.com for a lot more of those details. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Brock and Salk's Rewind is presented by Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, so Seahawks hosting the Cardinals this weekend. CBS game, huh, Brock? As part of
Get ready for a shootout. Get ready like 42-38. The last time Harlan and Green were on the call.
Yeah, all right.
Tampa,
well,
Seahawks.
We got
Baker,
him again.
Sam.
We got Trent Green back, and he's joining us right now. Trent, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good. How are you guys doing?
Would you sign up for that shootout again that you guys called last time?
Yeah, that was probably one of the. I think it goes down as I think the NFL came out with like the top 5 games of the season, and that was in their list of top 5 games of the season. Just because, I think it was a total of 10 incompletions between Baker and
Sammy.
Sam was on fire. I mean, it was just one of those games. So yeah, I would take that again. Those are fun broadcasts.
You've seen a lot of quarterbacks in your day between playing with them and watching them. Who does Darnold remind you of?
Oh gosh. I really love, and I'm not going to give you a direct answer. I'm going to give you a long-winded answer.
Even better.
I love the fact that he's worked at it. I remember talking to him when he was 20 years old, 21 years old, 22 years old, dealing with the pressures that come with being a high draft pick, the pressures of being in New York. Just kind of what he was dealing with from a media standpoint, from a social media standpoint, from a fans and family and all the stuff that goes in to playing the position on top of, you're trying to perform and lead a somewhat normal life as an early 20-year-old. So I just love his story. I love how he's worked at it. So many times we've heard of guys that, that come in with those high expectations and don't necessarily have it happen right away, and then they just disappear. But I like the fact that he's kind of found, found his love for the game again, found his passion for the game again. It took going to a couple different spots and being with some coaches that believed in him and working on his skill, and so I like his story. I do. So I'm pulling for him to try and compare what he did with anybody else. I'm trying to think who was a highly drafted guy and kind of had to resurrect. I mean, Baker's another one of those guys, right?
I guess I meant more just his style and the way he plays the game, but the story is absolutely a big part of that.
There's some Trent Green to his story now. Trent Green was in St. Louis. Trent Green learned to play with timing and anticipation and accuracy, honestly. And then you get hurt, you go to Kansas City, and you're in that system.
Maybe Brock, maybe that's why I like him so much. I don't know.
Yeah. And then Sam goes to Minnesota, right? He goes to Minnesota. Yeah. Well, first San Fran, he watches Brock Purdy, and I think you guys talked about that the last broadcast, and goes to Minnesota, plays in the system for a year, and is now flourishing in it. And he's a timing, anticipation, accuracy guy. I mean, that was a lot of Trent Green's game back in the day, was it not?
Yeah, no, exactly right. And I hate it when I hear announcers say, or analysts say, or scouts say, they're a system quarterback. They're a system quarterback. They're a system quarterback. And I'm like, listen, Joe Montana was the most system quarterback there was. He fit perfectly into that system, and it got him 4 Super Bowls. It's like Troy Aikman fit perfectly into what Norv Turner wanted to do and run that offense. I take a guy like Elway. I think Elway could play in multiple different offenses because of his skill set. But there are tons of guys in the Pro Football Hall of Fame that are system guys, and that's what you want. You want to find a guy that fits perfectly. I think Sam understands what it is that Mike Macdonald wants. I think that was very clear what he wanted when he decided to move on from Ryan Grubb and bring in Clint Kubiak and really what he wants to get done from his offense and his philosophy of how he wants to win football games. So the fact that Clint was with Sam earlier a few years back, I think that's only a bonus. And as we see that play out on the field, it just all fits really well. So system quarterback, yes, he fits perfectly into what they want in their system.
Well, we've heard a lot about that system here in the last couple of weeks and some conversation about a lot of throwing out of heavy personnel and the role that plays not just in their system but in the current NFL. As I was thinking about talking to you today, it made me wonder what Mike Martz would say about throwing as much as teams are out of heavy personnel.
It would drive Mike crazy.
Right?
Yes, so I'm going to tell you a little bit. When we got to so Mike was my quarterback coach in Washington with Norv for my last 2 years. And when he got the offensive coordinator job and we came over to St. Louis and we were going through the offseason, and Chad Lewis, who ended up being a Pro Bowl tight end for the Philadelphia Eagles, and Andy Reid, and really fit in well into that West Coast system. Well, Chad was with the Rams, and he was a really good receiver, and I thought he was going to fit perfectly into what we wanted to do offensively, because Norv liked to use the tight end. Jay Novacek, obviously, you go back to Eric Coryell days with Kellen Winslow. We had multiple different tight ends we used in Washington. So I was like, oh, Chad's going to fit perfect into this. And all of a sudden I see Chad's being released and I go talk to Mike. I go, Mike, what are we doing here? He fits perfectly. He goes, no, I'm going 4 wides. We're going to spread this thing out. We're going to be, he goes, I want Oz and Ricky on the field. I want to, I'm like, oh my gosh. And then, the greatest show on turf became what it did. But he had a vision for it and what he wanted to get done. The same way that Clint and Mike have a vision of what they want done. They use 2 tight end personnel a lot. They use heavy personnel a lot. We got to some of that in Kansas City because we had Tony Gonzalez and Jason Dunn, and we had Priest Holmes and Larry Johnson, and, running the football, physical football, play action football, and then you're going to get chunk yardage, yards per attempt, yards per completion. It's going to be bigger. Now today there's more of the quick throws of the outside, which has really become like a sweep play. A running back just to get out into space and be one-on-one out in the open space. So, but yeah, the Seahawks do a good job of using big personnel, because what it does is it forces the defense. It's like, okay, if you're not going to respect who we have on the field, you're going to leave your little guys on here, then we're just going to run it the whole time. And if you put your big guys in, then we're going to throw it against our athletes better than yours. So I love the personnel matchups. It's the ebb and flow of the NFL. And they're doing it right now. Right now they've got a good grasp on it, just because of, from a personnel standpoint, a lot of defenses are built small to hang with all the high flying, passing offenses. And if you do something like this, then it becomes a personnel matchup.
CBS Trent Green will be on the call Sunday, as he was with Kevin Harlan the first time around in that Buccaneer matchup, and kind enough to take some time with us this morning. I understand not wanting to make the quarterback comparisons with Sam, but we can do so with receivers, right? We can go down that road. Who does JSN remind you of as you saw him in person, as you've studied the tape, as you've seen, a 2,000-yard pace that he's on right now that would shatter NFL records? You get any JSN vibes from a player of the past?
I played with a bunch of guys that he reminds me of, but I think the one in the current game that he really reminds me of is Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think when you look at the fact that they're not like Calvin Johnson big, but they're strong big. So they're physical. They attack the ball. They use their hands. They come back to the ball. They're not easy to bring down. Yet, even though they're not the biggest receivers like a Calvin Johnson, like a big guy like that, they can still climb and get the contested catches. So I would compare him more, that pops out in my head, is Amon-Ra St. Brown, just because of the structure and their type of game, their route running. physical type receivers. That's really what comes to mind for me.
Did Brock pay you to say that? He's been saying that all year. He's been going. He's been
he
saying
really?
that. Oh my gosh, that's all he ever says.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
Daniel Jeremiah, you're in a good class. You're in a good class of folks that see it somewhat similarly. And you're right. He plays so much bigger. But then, Trent, I think what stands out to me is that he's one of those receivers that makes every throw look good. So I got a sophomore son, and we got a receiver that's a senior at the school he's playing with, and it doesn't matter where the throw is. He slows down, he speeds up, he idles, he goes and attacks the ball. It's like, oh, that was a great throw. It wasn't that great a throw. It was actually the receiver did such a phenomenal job because of his awareness and his instincts and all of it, man. He's been special for us to watch emerge this year.
That's awesome. That is really cool. So you have two boys playing at the same time on the same team?
No, I got my got two daughters, and then this is a senior receiver that's making my sophomore.
Oh,
son.
senior receiver.
Yeah,
He's just
so
calmly,
this
he's just
making him look
calmly
good.
throwing the
Okay.
ball 70 yards on a rope. It is absurd.
No, please.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Nice.
60 yards.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm way off. It's
Well,
only
I was
it's only
hoping-
60 yards.
I was hoping. Well, he's still got time to grow. He's a sophomore. Yeah.
Well, not much. He's 6'6". He's
Will you
gigantic.
please stop?
All
Can
right,
we
sorry. This
please
isn't
get to
about
the
Titus.
game?
Let's get back to the Seahawks. Sorry about that. All right,
Hey,
so we.
what's the? How excited are you guys about Rasheed? I mean, it's all I know is, like, as soon as that happened, like, our whole broadcast crew, like our producer, director, Kevin Melanie, everybody that's on this big text change, we're like, hey, look what happened. Look what happened. So I know we're fired up. I got to imagine you guys are as well.
Well, he's just really fast, right? And he seems like one of these all-time great dudes that everyone who's been around him just absolutely loves him.
Have you guys had a Saints game this year? Have you guys seen him in person?
We did not.
Yeah, they've not been real.
We did not. We had one a couple years ago, but we did not have one this year. And yeah, he can fly. I mean, it's going through his stuff as I'm getting ready for this game, I was like, how does he go undrafted? I mean, I know. I'm like, how does that happen? I think he was a 4-time All-American at Weber State, and was doing, was fat. I don't know. It's the quirks of scouting, I guess, in the NFL.
Trent, how about the other side of the ball for the Seahawks? Because it's, I keep wanting to say that's really where this thing is built, but honestly, as of today, they're 5th in offensive scoring and 5th in defensive scoring prevention. I mean, they're exactly even right now in terms of the strengths of this team. But that problem of, if you want to put the bigs out there, if you want to put the little guys out there, this defense doesn't seem to have that problem the same way. What makes it work?
I think, and don't ask Mike Macdonald that question, because I'm sure he'll say it's a defensive team. It really starts with the safeties, with the secondary. That's what this defense is driven on. And then you've got good corners. I like the guys up front, your defensive line. Hopefully Jones plays. I know that the injury report came out and said he was limited, although they were just in a walkthrough. So I'm going to keep an eye on the injury report the next couple of days, because he's a huge piece to that right in the middle. I like all different levels. When you talk about having guys at all the levels, that's what Seattle has. And so if you need a guy, you need like a lockdown corner to run around, you've got that. You need linebackers that can go sideline to sideline, you got that. You need pressure off the edges, guys up the middle that you have to double team. I mean, it's got all those layers to it. So they're in a great place.
I don't know where you are prep-wise, Trent. It's Thursday. You'll have your Zoom meetings. You'll travel up here and meet with the Seahawks. Have you had a chance to look at the first matchup yet of the Arizona and the Seahawks on that Thursday night?
I did. I went back because I remembered like a crazy ending. I was like, okay, I think this is a game with like a crazy, last half of the fourth quarter. So I went back and dove into it just to take another look at it. So yes, I have.
Curious what stood out in that first matchup. The Seahawks jump out, they get turnovers, they get the lead, they play hang on at the end, game-winning field goal. But just schematically, just as you look at Arizona now with Jacoby Brissett going to be under center, as you just kind of look at some of the scheme matchup from that first foray, what do you think and what do you expect Sunday?
Well, I noticed that, the Cardinals had a really hard time, moving the ball until late in the fourth quarter. I want to say that was the game. That may be the least amount of yards that the Seahawks have given up the entire season. Offensively, I like the way they stuck with the run. If you look early in that game, they weren't real consistent with the run, and then all of a sudden, you just stick with it. And I know that's kind of an MO of what Macdonald and Kubiak want to do is no matter if we're only getting a yard or two, we're going to stick with the run because that gets the play action, and that allows us to do some things. I like the use of the tight end. They use Barner quite a bit in that game. So run game, tight end, take your shots, and now all of a sudden you add, Shaheed to the mix. And I do remember the Cardinals were down some defensive backs, so it'll be interesting to see this matchup, just based on some of those things that happened in the first one.
When you all left the broadcast booth versus Tampa Bay, when you all left and dispersed and went your way, did you leave the booth after that game and said to Kevin, "Geesh, I think these Seahawks and these Buccaneers could be legitimate Super Bowl contenders"?
I did for both of them. Obviously, when you go 38-35, I mean that's a ton of points. So it wasn't necessarily that we actually went into that game thinking it was going to be a defensive battle. We're like, okay, both these defenses, and then I was like, I look at Kevin, I'm just like, have we even had any incompletions yet? It's like this is just staggering what's going on. But we did leave that, and we still talk that way. Those are two teams that definitely can be a part of that conversation when you talk about who can represent, the NFC in the Super Bowl. So I think they are definitely on the short list.
And just a final thing here on Arizona, because they're going to look different than in the film you watched because they've upgraded at the quarterback position now, and they're going with Jacoby Brissett.
The weird thing is during that game, because I hadn't watched a lot of the Cardinals, we just hadn't had them this year. We actually haven't had them in the last couple of years, and so I'm watching that game, and we've covered Jacoby quite a bit on multiple different teams. We've had a chance to talk to him in production meetings, and I know that Arizona had lost some close games. We're sitting there watching the Dallas game, and Dallas Kevin does the Monday night games for Westwood One, so he's at the games. And I'm trying to leave him alone because he's working. And I'm like, Brissett looks really, really good right now. He's standing in the pocket. He knows when he's going to get hit. He just stands there, delivers the ball. He looks like here's the system comments again. He looks like he fits really well into what they want to do offensively. And and I think that's ultimately why he was named the starter even before they put Kyler on IR. But I was impressed with the way Jacoby played against the Cowboys.
Hey, last thing for me, you're gracious with all this time. And just as a friend, walking into a production meeting as you will, just want to let you know, I don't know if you saw this anywhere. I think Collinsworth made mention of it Sunday night in the broadcast, and then we chat with Mike every Monday. And he actually pointed to the game you guys did is the reason this thing is turned. And it still sticks with him. He thought he called a horrible game. So it may not be bad in the production meeting just to say, hey, the last time we saw you, I've heard comments of you pointing to this, to that game as being one that turned this. I'd be curious how he answers that with you, how much depth he goes to, because it feels like that game, as much as you loved it and I loved it and offensive people loved it, he hated it. He hated it and felt like he really called a terrible game. So maybe that could be a little avenue of conversation in the production meeting.
Well, I appreciate that heads up because I wasn't sure I wanted to bring it up because of that's the last time they lost. And, there's always that announcer jinx where people are like, oh, well, last time you were here. But then also because of the amount of points and yards that they gave up. So, but now that I know that he has valued this game as maybe a turning point, then yeah, I will. Now I will. I was going to avoid it like crazy because of those reasons. But now I'm going to ask him.
Well, I don't think the weather's going to be as good as that day. I don't think the vibe with the Mariners having their big game the same day is going to be exactly the same, but should be a good one, and we look forward to hearing you on the call. Thanks so much for spending a little time with us. We appreciate it.
Hey, it's always good talking to you guys.
A nice interview there with Trent Green. It is kind of wild that the game that he called this year with Kevin Harlan, and it's still, I know that the broadcast networks don't have that exclusivity anymore, but it's still jarring to see two NFC teams playing on CBS or vice versa when you have AFC teams on Fox, because for so long it was all right. CBS, they are the AFC network, and Fox, this is the NFC network. You come familiar with your guys and you get used to those broadcasters. So to have that crossover, well, it's unusual, but nice to see guys like Kevin Harlan and Trent Green on the call. They'll be on the call again this weekend. Yeah, they had that Bucs game, and that Bucs game was strange for a number of reasons, as Salk and Brock were talking about, that it was game 2 of the ALDS. So the chaos downtown and just the whole mob scene of trying to get down there. There were so many people around. I remember showing up so early to make sure I could get a spot and get into the Mariners. We went over for the first half of the Seahawks, walk back over. Everyone's in the Mariners press box watching this game and watching neither team be able to get a single stop on defense. And then as that game finished, it was like 45 minutes before first pitch of game 2, and there was just this dread because of game 1. So the Seahawks had lost. The Mariners were down 1-0 in the ALDS. And you're thinking,
and
what's going to happen here?
And you're getting set to face Tarek Skubal.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were going to say, and the Mark Sanchez news broke, because that happened on that day, too. It was a highly consequential day of sports and sports news on Sunday. The Titans also beat the Cardinals, and I didn't even watch that game because we were getting worried for game 2 of the ALDS, and I was busy stuffing my face out of nervousness, eating all the food available. Because, yeah, game 2, Tarek Skubal, I had kind of forgotten it was Skubal in game 2. I was like, well, yeah, didn't he pitch in game 1 because they won? No, he was pitching in game 2, and it played out exactly like you thought it would until Jorge Polanco hit a home run, and then the Mariners found a way to win. But all of that, getting back to the point of, the last time Kevin Harlan and Trent Green were here, it was a very uneasy feeling that kind of hung over Soto that day. And look how far the Seahawks have come since then. Kind of a turning point. And there was something that Mike Macdonald mentioned in his interview with those guys on Monday that I guess more they brought up on the broadcast, like the Bucs loss kind of lingering with them.
I missed it, but Salk said that Chris Collinsworth had mentioned in their production meeting that Mike Macdonald said, that Bucs game, that loss still bothers me to this day.
I do think that he has this innate ability, and better than a lot of coaches, because in his small sample size of now a season and a half, to adapt quickly and pinpoint the exact reason or the reasons why something went wrong and fix it. The analogy that everyone goes back to is the Ernest Jones move. Your linebackers weren't working out. You found a guy, you knew exactly what you wanted to do, and he was the difference maker over that final half of the season. The Bucs game, you give up 38 points. The defense can't get a stop. The secondary's banged up. Well, guess what? They were still banged up the next week in Jacksonville, and all of a sudden, it's completely different. And the Seahawks shut down a similar offense, and since then, they haven't looked back. They've still dealt with a lot of injuries. But that game feels like such a turning point. I do want to bring it up again with Brock, and we'll get back to it. And that comment from Macdonald at 9 o'clock, because for Mike Macdonald, it feels like one of his greatest traits as a coach right now is his ability to identify, adapt, and eliminate a problem. And I don't think every coach can do that. Certainly, you think,
how many times have you seen a post-game press conference where they're like, if I knew why that was happening, I would fix it?
Or maybe they do kind of have an idea and are not going to reveal it, but they don't, in practicality, show it out there on the next day or the next week. But yeah, whatever Mike Macdonald and his staff do to get ready for another game after a setback or after a loss has worked so far. And to this point, you're 6-2. You're tied for the best record in the NFC, and you can't argue with the results there. So a lot to like about what the Seahawks look like right now heading into the matchup against the Cardinals. Roster-wise, they're not quite healthy, but who is at this point in the season? We'll kind of dig into that with Brock, and then a little bit more about this matchup, because it is a different Cardinals team from when they played on Thursday night. A new quarterback certainly headlines how different this Cardinals team is. So talk about Jacoby Brissett and what an offense might look like with him at quarterback. Brock joins us next here. Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Wyman and Bob.
Is this like a signature win?
Every afternoon at 2.
To try to get people to believe in this team. They just cruised the entire way.
While I think it's an impressive win, I wouldn't call it a signature win based on the opponent. To me, a signature win is beat the Rams. Beat a team, especially in your division, that's really good record-wise. That's what I would title a signature win. If they beat the Rams, that's the best opponent they've got in like the next 5 games.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, only on Seattle Sports.
The birth of the American supercar is roaring into LeMay, America's Car Museum, starting October 25th. Curated by racing icon Steve Saleen, this electrifying exhibition showcases the evolution of American speed, style, and engineering, featuring icons like Hennessy, Shelby, Zinger, and more. From raw horsepower to groundbreaking design, this is the ultimate tribute to performance. Don't miss the birth of the American supercar, opening October 25th at LeMay, America's Car Museum. Visit americascarmuseum.org to learn more.
Lowe's knows pros want more. Join My Lowe's Pro Rewards for free to get $20 off your first qualifying purchase of $100 or more just for signing up. Plus, enjoy free standard shipping and more ways to save on your next job. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer valid for new members only. Not valid with any other discount. Free standard shipping not available in Alaska and Hawaii. Exclusions and more terms apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/pro-loyalty for details. Subject to change.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI agent can be set up in minutes to answer calls and questions 24/7, so you never miss a customer, lead, or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Charlie's battery is struggling to start. Not ideal before the tailgate, so he goes to AutoZone,
Welcome to AutoZone.
where a friendly AutoZoner tests his battery for free. Looks like he needs a new one, so he gets a Duralast battery.
Have fun and stay warm.
And he makes it to the tailgate early enough to get his favorite spot. Free battery testing and charging. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football. It's a pepper thing.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/play.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
This hour of the Brock and Salk Show is powered by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
Get in freaking auto! From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Marcus. Sorry about just Mike.
Heward, not exactly Joe Cap there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
Oh, happy Friday. Happy Football Friday, powered by the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Mike Lefko and Brock Heward here with you. What's up, man? How's it going?
What's up, Mikey? The other Mike, the other Mikey. How we doing, kid? How are you?
Seeing your face there smiling early on a Friday morning makes me almost as happy as a Baja Blast Mountain Dew pie from Taco Bell.
A Baja Blast Mountain Dew pie?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah. It's been the story of the show this morning, Brock.
Really?
Yep.
I got to write that down. I don't even think Titus has tried that.
Yep. From Taco Bell. Just came out yesterday.
Okay.
Mountain Dew Baja Blast pie.
Pie?
Yeah.
Like a pie?
A pie. Lock it down. Bring it to Thanksgiving.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
And did you try it?
No, it's my only thing on my mind is I have to go try it after the show ends.
Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. So as you know, that's my primary motivation. We do have a lot to talk about with the Seahawks and with the Cardinals and this second matchup that, it's very different for the Seahawks. They look a little bit different on defense. They have a new piece in on offense. The Cardinals, they have a new piece in at quarterback, so we'll get into a little bit more of the matchup, at 7:30. But when you look at the Seahawks' health, heading into this game. What's funny, Brock, on the surface, it felt like, okay, Rasheed Shaheed, why are you bringing in a receiver? Oh, that's a luxury. That's great. Okay, cool. You get better at the thing you're good at. But now, Torrey Horton didn't practice yesterday. Cooper Kupp limited in practice. All these receivers banged up. It feels like Shaheed actually is going to have an important role on Sunday.
Yeah, and obviously they know infinitely more than that. In so much of this league, I don't remember it being this way. I know Wyman didn't remember it. He didn't remember a lot with all of his times he's hit with his
you
head.
Went there, yeah.
Well, I mean, in the 80s, the 90s, 2000s, it wasn't about attrition. It wasn't like, oh, gosh, who's going to be the last man standing physically? Who can get all their horses, out to the race and have them all post and run when it matters? Like, you just kind of played. I mean, Dave and those guys just played. Maybe a little bit it started to turn in my era of understanding what prehab was, what post-hab was, what it wasn't just rehabilitation. You got to take care of yourself before and you got to take care of yourself after. And you started to see that come into play. And now really so much of it, Mike, and so much time and money and resources are spent to try to get their guys to post when it matters the most. And how much can I get them to post? When they signed Cooper Kupp, they knew there was a 0.00 chance he was going to play 17 games and then into the playoffs. That just was not at this stage of his career with the beating he has taken. That's just not plausible. And so it's managing so much of that. And, I think as they looked at their situation, a lot of depth on the O-line, a lot of health right there. They've been able to stay healthy at the running back position, more healthy than they have in years past. A lot of depth there. Defensive line, they go 8 deep. They've weathered a couple injuries there, right? Linebacker, with Ernest, we'll see. We'll see. That's probably the next thinnest group. They've weathered injuries on the back end. But receiver, I think you get beyond JSN and you start to get guys, banged up and you lose them. You need a difference maker. And by all accounts, this kid's got the talent to do that and is going to be, I think he's going to play a pretty central role on Sunday.
Yeah, and here is Clint Kubiak yesterday. Obviously worked with him last year in New Orleans, breaking down what they liked about Shaheed and what he's seen from him since he's been here in Seattle.
Rasheed's a hard worker. He's a really good kid. Football is important to him. He's a really good teammate. So when you're bringing somebody on, you want to make sure they gel with what Coach is building around here, Coach Macdonald, and I know that he does.
Brock, it seems like an obvious point, but sorry to jump on you there.
No, go ahead.
Just the connection there of Kubiak and Shaheed, that maybe the expectations should be a little higher about what he could do this week and early on the first couple weeks. Had this been a guy foreign to the system, all right, you got to work him in, but this guy knows Kubiak so well. Should the expectations be a little higher for his immediate impact?
Yeah, I think so. And geesh, I mean, the immediate impact that Sam and JSN have had, and these guys, obviously it's months, it's not days, but that's what's blown me away the most. And talking to different folks, and Daniel Jeremiah and Joel and Trent Green this week, all former quarterbacks, and to have those guys playing at the level they are, kind of expediting their efficiency is remarkable. And if you can do it with them, then yeah, somebody that is versed in this system should be able to come in, and it's not a foreign language. Oh, okay. And even Sam said that. He's already asking the right questions and already has a feel for, how do you want me to slow down with this? How do you want me to read this man's own concept? How do you want me to plant? Where do you want me to get to and get into your vision? All of those things that do speed up, that production. And yeah, not that he's going to have a 100-yard day on Sunday necessarily, but I don't think he's going to be out of sorts. I don't think it's going to be, I think there will be, and there will certainly be, by this injury report once again, ample opportunity for him to play.
Yeah, you mentioned Sam Darnold talking about Shaheed, and this was Darnold yesterday, already impressed with, and they've known each other for a day. The trade happened Tuesday. He gets in Wednesday, so you get there, you practice, and now he's out there again on Thursday. So here was Darnold yesterday, already impressed with what he's seen from Shaheed.
To be honest, the way that he is right now, though, just meeting him, he seems like he's got a really good head on his shoulders. He understands kind of what to expect in terms of the offense and all those things. So we're just going to, any questions, I feel like he's done a really good job already of asking questions and, being curious about kind of his role and what we're asking him to do. So he's been really good that way.
It's cool. And I do remember Bobby Ingram. I think we picked him up at the end of training camp, so it wasn't an in-season trade. Again, those things didn't really happen 25 years ago like they do today. But guys would get cut at the end of camp. I think Derek Mays was another one. I mean, just high football IQ guys. And when they came in the building, it didn't take them long. Like, yep, got it. Oh, that's kind of nice. Oh, yeah, Matt really liked throwing to Bobby. Like, that guy is a very quarterback friendly. I guess that's the term to sum up a lot of my verbiage here. This is a QB friendly receiver. Right. And obviously JSN is a QB friendly receiver. Cooper is probably, in the 1% as that goes. He really sees the game from the QB's position and wants to put himself in a position to make it as friendly as possible. And the more of those guys on your roster, the better.
So with this, does it keep Sam Darnold playing at that MVP level? I guess in the back of some people's minds, it's all right, okay, can he really sustain this? He doesn't have the name cachet when it comes to MVP of a Patrick Mahomes or a Josh Allen. And I think if he had that, he's probably a front runner for the MVP right now, along with Matthew Stafford. But he's playing at an MVP level. Is this the move that keeps him at that level the rest of the season?
Yeah, and this will be a good matchup. We'll dig into it a whole bunch more here in 20 minutes, as you said. But this will be like going back and looking at that first game. These guys gave Sam and the offense some problems. It was a short week, so you didn't have the full complement to study all their blitz packages and everything they do. This is the only team that sacked him 3 times. He's been sacked 9 times in 8 games. These guys got him a third of those, three times. Yeah. These guys have some pieces coming back they didn't have. They're kind of Byron Murphy. His name's Walter Nolan, super explosive, hard to block, first-round defensive tackle. He didn't play in the first matchup. Will Johnson, the corner from Michigan, a good, capable corner, a ball-hawking corner. Guy's got eyes to the quarterback. So this will be – and Budda Baker always loves to play against the Seahawks. Like, it's never been all that easy against this defense. And like that game last night showed you, division play is sometimes ugly. And that was,
Thursday Night Football's ugly.
Those Wildcat cheerleaders, UGLY, you ain't got no alibi, you ugly. Yeah, you ugly. That last night was maybe the ugliest NFL game I have watched in a long, long time. I mean, I don't want to be like prisoner of the moment. I know there's really bad and there's bad teams, but I mean, bro. And I know you've watched Tennessee, bless your heart, for years now.
Yeah, oof.
Yeah, with some bad football. But that last night between the two sides, that was not like good defense.
Yeah,
that was horrendous offense.
We threw it out there, and I think maybe we were prisoner of the moment because I had even wiped from my memory that Seahawks-Bears game last year. And that was one of the worst I've ever seen as well. So I don't know. Thursday night is just not good. And unfortunately, the Seahawks have another one coming up, and it's against the Rams later in the season. So everything you just said about a division game and a Thursday night game, well, we'll worry about that in December. But yeah, Thursday night football is rough. We'll get into that a little bit more, and then the fallout from that game for Pete Carroll and everything else happening around the NFL when you.
Did they have to amputate Geno's leg? I mean, poor guy was dragging it around like a.
Yeah, Morris said you weren't
like
very impressed with him.
Like a World War II survivor.
You didn't think he was playing through pain admirably?
I mean, seriously, did they amputate it? Like, did they have to rush him right away? I mean, he made sure every moment something was hurting. Oh,
well, stay tuned. We'll find out if his leg got amputated.
Benito made sure every moment something was hurting.
True.
6 sacks. That's going to hurt. Come on. That hurts. You've been sacked a few times. So we'll see how Geno Smith's feeling and everything else happening around the NFL, including those updates on key Seahawks players who are dealing with injuries. All coming up next here. Mike Lefko and Brock Heward with you. Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
It's the Hawks Player Spotlight.
Tight end A.J. Barner is with us. How are you, man?
Doing well. It's good to be on here.
Brought to you by Three Tree Roofing.
The rookie on this O-line, Gray Zabel, is with us.
Sam is an elite quarterback.
Going deep with a different Hawks player every day at 3:30 with Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports.
Every time he walks into the huddle, we know we got a chance for a big play.
Nick Eamon-Wari is with us.
I felt good physically going into the game.
Catch up on every Hawks Spotlight on Seattle Sports on YouTube and the Seattle Sports app.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
Stacy here. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, and when they resell it, they share half their profit with you. That's right. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, Isuzu, and Auburn. They'll pay you today for your car, and once they resell it, they'll share half their profit with you. WayscarFord.com.
Need a break from everything? Escape to a place where anything is possible and the fun never stops. At Silver Reef Casino Resort, you'll discover world-class dining, championship caliber golf, a full sports book and bar, over 1,000 top-rated slots and table games, and so much more. Come join the fun and see why we've been consistently rated one of the region's top destinations. Visit silverreefcasino.com to book your stay and discover all the exciting events and promotions we have in store for you. Silver Reef Casino Resort, located off I-5, exit 260.
For the first time ever, enjoy 0% interest for 60 months with equal monthly payments, plus 15% off new windows and doors only from Lake Washington Windows. Voted the best in the Northwest for comfort, quality, and savings. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com. Your new home is now ready. D.R. Horton, America's builder, has new homes that are ready today. With new construction communities throughout the Puget Sound and Central Washington areas, and more coming, D.R. Horton has the right home for you. At D.R. Horton, we're still building, with more construction, more communities, and more homes available every day. Find your new home, now ready at drhorton.com. That's drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now, the company's changed. Or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So, what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-466-3300. That's 206-466-3300.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Headed outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nellie on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on SeattleSports.com.
Does your yard need shade, privacy, or a little brightening up? Look no further than Big Trees. I'm Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. At our 30-acre location, there are thousands of trees to choose from and knowledgeable staff, including a board-certified master arborist, to help you find exactly what you're looking for. Visit the nursery and learn more about Big Trees at BigTreeSupply.com.
Beauty, privacy, instantly. Big Trees.
Ryan Rowland-Smith here. For more than 35 years, the NBA Health Insurance Trust has been helping local builders, contractors, and their employees save money and gain peace of mind. They offer customized group health plans from the state's leading insurance providers. Small and mid-sized businesses deserve big healthcare access. The NBA Health Trust brings you the coverage you want at a price you can trust. Find out more at MBAHealthTrust.com. That's MBAHealthTrust.com.
This is Steve Amon at Pacific Power Batteries. We have a message about charging lithium-ion batteries. Be very careful. On our website, we show you how to prevent fires or explosions by not using some aftermarket chargers or charging below 32 degrees. New battery, new charger, charge it outside in a sealed container or while you can watch it during the day. Please visit our website, pacificpowerbatteries.com, for more tips to avoid a fire or explosion. Yikes!
Kinematics Marine Equipment reminds listeners many uniformed personnel and healthcare providers will spend this holiday season working hard to keep us safe. These heroic men and women spend long hours away from home, protecting our freedom and providing critical medical care. Please thank them for their many sacrifices and putting their lives on the line for us every day. Happy holidays to you and yours from the entire team at Kinematics Marine Equipment, your nationwide source for marine deck gear in their new location next to the Arlington Airport or online at kinematicsmarine.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
All right, Brock, stick with me. I'm going to rattle off a lot of injuries. I'm curious to know which ones you're concerned about, which ones you think are just, part of the normal wear and tear of an NFL week. But when it comes to the receivers especially, Seahawks really banged up. Jake Bobo did not practice the second straight day yesterday. Same for Derek Young. Cooper Kupp, he did improve to limited with a hamstring and heel injury. Seemed like it's trending in a better direction. But then Torrey Horton, after fully participating on Wednesday, did not practice yesterday with groin and shin injuries. So just those wide receivers, and I'll get to the other two, but out of those wide receivers, what do you think this core looks like on Sunday?
Yeah, Derek and Bobo are out. They're certainly not going to play. I'm a little curious as to why they didn't put him maybe even on IR a couple weeks ago when those injuries happened, but maybe they'll think they'll come back before that 4 or 5 week window, but they'll be out this week. I don't think Kupp will play this week. I think he will be out, and we'll see about Horton. And, again, some of why you made this move and why you got a veteran familiar with the system that is been productive over 3 or 4 years is because there is question about Torrey Horton. He's an unbelievable playmaker. He's got, 5 touchdowns and 13 receptions, but he's got a history of being injured. And even with you, through the OTAs and through preseason and through training camp, the guy gets nicked up and is going to miss some time, and he's a rookie. So that one probably the one to keep the closest eye on today. Does he come back and be a full participant today? Is that a limited? Is he, obviously they'll put the designation of questionable or doubtful, but yeah, that was the one of everything all week. That's been the one that's been the most perplexing.
And then that's just the wide receivers. What about Ernest Jones? He was also limited. The knee injury looked very bad on Sunday. To be limited seems like a good sign, but do you risk it and bring him back on Sunday? What do you think happens there?
Yeah, I think we'll see. And linebackers are built a little bit differently than wide receivers. I think Mr. Wyman will tell you that as well. And watching him warm up, and they can only shoot video the first 10 minutes or so of practice, and Bob and Brady and Hawkblogger, all those guys had video, and he was moving pretty good, man. Had a brace on it, obviously, but he did not look like he was, poor Geno Smith. He didn't look at risk of amputating the leg like Geno looked like last night.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
All right, we'll hear from Geno Smith in a second, Brock. We'll see how he dealt with that. But MLB free agency, it's underway. 13 players were tendered qualifying offers, the big names, the big bats. And Mariners, this doesn't really concern them. They're not going to sign a Kyle Tucker or Kyle Schwarber or Bo Bichette. If they do, we'll deal with the ramifications. You would lose a draft pick if these guys decline a qualifying offer, but you don't have to worry about that yet. As it relates
those
to
are all
Mariners,
guys, just to be clear, those are all guys that finish arbitration.
No.
That are free agents, right?
Well, they don't have arbitration.
That's right. They finished the arbitration year, so now they're free. But
yes,
the team
they are
can
free
still,
agents. Yes.
It's kind of almost like a quasi-franchise tag where you at least get something back.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And the player, though, can turn it down.
Correct. Absolutely.
So teams do get rewarded if a player turns it down, which they're all expected to, like a Kyle Schwarber or Kyle Tucker. They're not going to sign that. Then the player that tenders them the offer gets a compensatory draft pick. So similar to the NFL, where if you lose a free agent, you get it. When it applies to the Mariners, we'll kind of dive more into the details. But as free agency applies to the Mariners, Josh Naylor, that is the giant elephant in the room looming out there, and Justin Hollander, he addressed it right away yesterday on MLB Network Radio. He said, look, he's our number one priority. We're not hiding behind that, and, I don't care if everyone knows about it.
Yeah, I don't really see a reason. There's no advantage to hiding the ball, to telling people that. It was just fine. It wasn't just fine. It was awesome. It was a great fit for the 2 months, and we'd like to make it last a lot longer. He fits in our clubhouse. Positionally, he fills a position of need. It's a real left-handed bat that plays an excellent first base, that runs the base as well. He does a lot of things well. Why wouldn't you say that this would be awesome if we could have Josh in the long term? He fits great, and he's our priority.
Yep. Now we'll see what the rest of the market seems to think. And how much Josh Naylor wants to be here and how much he tells his agent, go to the market, do your job, do it well, see what the highest bidder is, and then go back to Seattle and see if Seattle will match.
Yeah.
And if they find the same value in me that some of the other teams may find in me. And I'll tell you what, man, I think he's the only guy in 17 years that I've heard say he loves the batter's eye and he loves hitting in T-Mobile. So maybe for that and that reason alone, make him a Mariner.
Yeah, so Kylie Macdonald of ESPN outlined a couple of reasons why Naylor might not be valued as highly as we think about him here, which could be perfect for the Mariners. And then he also threw out a contract number that seems very feasible. He put out there in his projection 3 years, $52.5 million. So $17.5 million a year. Yeah, I think anyone would jump at that. And that would be, of course, right, if you don't get into a bidding war and someone really thinks he can provide a need for their team. But that he will be the most fascinating contract number to watch from this perspective, obviously, of free agency.
And I think it's pointed that he is their number one top priority to make sure that he knows that heading into free agency as well.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Brock, you've expressed your thoughts on the aesthetic appeal of Broncos-Raiders last night. Just an all-around tough game to watch. I brought this up that there was a stat put out by the director of Next Gen Stats. First time since Seahawks-Bucks back in 1976 where both teams finished with more penalties committed than first downs. 11 penalties by both, 10 first downs by both the Raiders and the Broncos. So just all around disgusting 10-7 Broncos win. You have pointed out Geno Smith, he got hit a couple times. Maybe you said what? Over-exaggerating some of the injuries a little bit?
No, he just made sure everybody knew exactly where it was.
Well, he also, after the game, wanted to make sure people knew why he played through that injury.
It's just kind of how I'm wired. I never want to leave my teammates out there alone. I feel like it's a big responsibility of mine to be out there and to do whatever I can to help us win. So, I felt like I could try to tough it out, and that's what I tried to do.
Thigh contusion, knee, ankle, I don't know. The whole thing. He may be done for the season. It's bad. And I will say, and I say all of that, and I'm sure there's a million people going, really? You, of all people, you are going to talk about someone's injury history and whatever, and that's totally fair. Kettle, black, whatever the deal is. But that O-line that he's playing behind is truly atrocious. Those are not NFL tackles. So, he took an absolute beating from beginning to end. He's under duress the entire game. Really could get into no rhythm. And then, unfortunately, when he was semi-protected, he was so out of whack, and the timing was so bad. It's just a terrible product. Reminded me of some of the games that I would leave in the USFL or the XFL or the UFL, all those leagues, and we're trying to put on a good product. And you leave the stadium and you just know, that was bad. nobody enjoyed watching that. That was really, really bad football.
We'll get into the ramifications of that and what it might mean for Pete Carroll at 8:15, because now the Raiders are 2-7. They have one win since week 1. They beat the Patriots in week 1, and then they beat the Titans. And that's it. 2-7. Those are only wins. So we'll see what that means for Pete Carroll. That is everything you need to know. But Brock, this Cardinals-Seahawks matchup, we talked about it a little bit. We're really going to dive into it because there are two key pieces for the Cardinals that are different when the Seahawks last played them. We'll dissect how that affects the matchup and, hey, what the Seahawks look like with a new weapon as well on offense. That's all coming up next as we fully dive into this Seahawks-Cardinals matchup and a big stretch coming up for the Seahawks, Cardinals, and then Rams next week. A lot to get to here on Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Wyman and Bob.
Sam Darnold has been sacked just 9 times this year.
Every afternoon at 2.
How much of that do you put on the pass protection he's getting versus how quickly he's getting rid of the ball?
The offensive line's doing their job, but I would say hitting a spot like 35, 40 yards downfield that's so tiny. I mean, that is really impressive, but the most rare talent to me is a guy who can move around the pocket and keep his eyes downfield.
Only on Seattle Sports and Seattle Sports on YouTube.
All right, what are you doing this weekend? Get to Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. So many good reasons why, but if you're watching the games, it's spectacular. The whole new sports bar is awesome. 60-plus TVs, indoor-outdoor concept, great views, great food. There's an awesome pool. The hotel is great. The new expanded non-smoking gaming floor, the whole deal. Go to snocasino.com for a lot more of those details. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
With football season comes colder weather, so if you need new windows and doors, don't drop the ball. Steve Rabel here with Keith Dashafee from locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. So Keith, what's your next big play?
Well, Steve, right now get 40% off qualifying installs or no payments and no interest for 12 months on approved credit.
Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Stuck in I-5 gridlock, TSA slowdowns, and SeaTac crowds. Isn't it time to travel smarter? Seaport Airlines offers high-frequency commuter shuttle service from Seattle's Boeing Field to Portland. Park for free next to our terminals. Check in 20 minutes before your departure. Get there faster without the hassles. Seaport Airlines. It's about time. Book today at flyseaportair.com.
The birth of the American supercar is roaring in DeLeMay, America's Car Museum, starting October 25th. Curated by racing icon Steve Saleen, this electrifying exhibition showcases the evolution of American speed, style, and engineering, featuring icons like Hennessy, Shelby, Zinger, and more. From raw horsepower to groundbreaking design, this is the ultimate tribute to performance. Don't miss the birth of the American supercar, opening October 25th at LeMay, America's Car Museum. Visit americascarmuseum.org to learn more.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
A 15-year-old girl who chewed through a rope to escape a serial killer.
I used my front teeth to saw on the rope in my mouth.
The killer prowled the Pacific Northwest in the early 70s. He's been convicted of murdering 2 young women, but suspected of many more.
Maybe there's another one in that area.
Follow and binge all episodes of Stolen Voices of Dole Valley, available now wherever you listen.
Get rid of stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin with ProSculpt, the simple 1-day permanent fat reduction and skin tightening treatment. Book your free consultation at prosculpt.com.
Selling cars is a really easy business. It's complicated by really bad dealers. And why do we do that? Well, because we think that the less information we give and the more that we can dictate it on our terms, the more profitable we'll be. And what we found is that this is the exact opposite. The easier we make it, the more information we give, the more comfortable customers are in doing business with us. Now, that one transaction, we might make a little bit less on, but it's not the one. It's that one that leads to the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth. It's not the one individual. He's like, but you never get to the spouse, the parents, the kids, the friends, if you don't take care of them first.
It's not a script. It's a belief. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
If you've been in a wreck or a fender bender,
you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility, not just where your insurance company tells you to go. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. With over 25 years of auto repair work, they'll exceed your expectations.
we meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
At Accurate Auto Body, all their work is performed by certified technicians, only using OEM parts to guarantee the safety of you and your family. For the best in auto body collision repair and customer service, give them a call at 425-883-2450 or AccurateAutoBodyWA.com. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
we meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk
Weekdays 6 to 10
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Seahawks Cardinals coming up on Sunday. Brock, you already cursed them. We heard that in your interview with Trent Green. It's going to be a wild shootout. It'll be a crazy game because Kevin Harlan and Trent Green are on the call like they were for Seahawks Bucks. But it is a different quarterback, and it could be a different offense. I mean, I know you guys have talked about Kyler Murray versus Jacoby Brissett and what that could mean in terms of how you defend this team, to how you cover them now, what it means for a Marvin Harrison who had a very big game. I want to play something for you, though, because I think Mark Schlereth kind of summed up the whole story behind Kyler Murray, and I had never really heard it put this way. He was on with Wyman and Bob. He compared Kyler Murray and what he doesn't do to what good quarterbacks do. I think this has kind of tentacles because in my mind it applies to Sam Darnold. I heard the good of it and compared it to Sam Darnold. There's also the bad that you can kind of understand, and as a quarterback, it probably would kind of connect with you as well. So this was Schlereth on Tuesday kind of giving a Tom Brady analogy to explain why Kyler Murray is not the guy anymore.
You don't win football games in the NFL by consistently playing off schedule. Boring is what wins in the NFL. And I always fall back to the story of talking to Byron Leftwich about Tom Brady. And I said, what is it that surprises you about Tom Brady? What makes him so great? And he goes, hey, man, if we're running curl flat, which is a day one installation, and the flat, which is, a little, whether it's tight end or receiver or running back out in the flat, it's a 6-yard route. And he goes, if the flat is the first read in the progression and the flat is open, Tom Brady throws it 100 out of 100 times and puts us in second down and 5. And he goes, and it never fails. That's how you win in the NFL. You don't win by pulling the ball on a curl flat and go, let me get something better. The best thing ever happened to Arizona with him having this injury is they realize that he is not the answer going forward, and they will move off of him.
Yeah, there are a lot of tentacles there, Mr. Lefko. I think I took about 4 different notes right there. I bristle just a little bit at you can't win in the NFL off schedule because we watched the Seahawks win a Super Bowl in 2013 with a QB that largely played off schedule in Russell. Now, he could also flip the switch, and he protected the ball remarkably well. But, Salk and I sitting in that studio would argue with everybody from Tim Hasselback to all the national voices that, Kurt Warner, he can't see. He has to just scramble. He's playground. He's off schedule. Like, he won a Super Bowl in nearly a second playing off schedule. So to say that you can never win That's hard for me because a decade ago, the greatest team that we ever had in our city had a QB that largely played when he could really run now, Mike, and he was really strong, and he was a great runner and a great protector of the football, things that Kyler isn't, right, as far as sacks and protecting the football. Russell was elite at that time, so I bristled just a little bit, but I totally understand where Mark is going, and we have a saying, you never go broke taking a profit.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the crumbs lead to the cookie. There's 100 of them, little football cliches of completion. Probably the last thing I say to Titus before every game. Hey, man, completions, right? You get completions, you get your offense into rhythm, you get going, and the tempo of your team and your whole operation functions so much better. And I think Jacoby Brissett, through all of his stops along the way, understands that. I would say one other thing, too, not to hog the whole conversation, is Jacoby Brissett is at a place in his career, and Peyton and Tom and Drew and these guys learned it, and I'm not comparing him to those Hall of Famers, but those guys learned what they are and what they're not. And I think watching Bo Nix last night, watching a lot of young, talented quarterbacks that come into this league thinking they can do everything. I can do everything. Don't tell me what I can't do. I can do everything. No, focus on actually what you can do really well. And Jacoby Brissett is stuck around in this league because he knows what he is and he knows what he isn't. And if it's not there, I'm gonna just turf the ball. If it's not there, I'm gonna throw it away. If it's not there, I'm not gonna make a mistake. And I don't think Kyler, through all of his years and experience, has really learned kind of that pendulum, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I didn't realize this. And I know it's skewed a little bit because he's a backup, a longtime career backup, compared to a starter who's going to just have many more pass attempts. But Jacoby Brissett has the lowest career interception rate. Yep. 1.3%, lowest in NFL history. And this year, if you want to just have the sample size of this year, 1 interception in 112 pass attempts. The first game he kind of truly started against the Colts. So a guy like this who through 3 games starting has protected the football, what does that mean for the Seahawks defense? You know, it's more predictable than a Kyler Murray who's running and is off schedule, but he's not going to turn the ball over. How does that play out for the Seahawks defense?
Yeah, well, I think the Seahawks, didn't they pick Kyler twice in that first half? So they got after him in more ways than Jacoby has put the ball in play and in harm's way through all of these starts. Yeah, I think it just means you better be on your P's and Q's. And likewise, defensively, if you're supposed to drop to this zone, you better drop to this zone. If you're supposed to be in the curl flat, you better be in the curl flat. It better not be I thought I saw Kyler scramble. Oh, I thought I saw him move and break contain, so I was just trying to make a play. Like, no, you be as diligent in your detail as he's going to be in his process, and then ultimately your athleticism should win. I mean, this is not a good offensive line for Arizona. We saw that in the first matchup. This is an O-line that has allowed Kyler and Jacoby to be sacked 29 times. 29 in five games. And Brissett last week was hit and hammered pretty well. So, you know, this is not a superhuman. This is not a guy. We played, you know, Seahawks played him last year in New England, and what'd they sack him? 6 or 7 times behind in the equally or maybe even a little worse offensive line. So this is one you just squeeze that pocket and your front does what your front does, and you make life miserable for him.
Yeah. On the other side.
And he doesn't have, you know, I think some of that fear. Kyler's also the leading rusher for the Cardinals. So, you know, that's the other aspect that Jacoby is not going to do. He's not going to necessarily run. He's not going to necessarily extend plays and create and do things that even Sam does in some of his nifty movement. So he's kind of a one-trick pony that if it's on time and on rhythm, he'll get it out and he'll hit it. But if you can pressure him and you can sack him and you can move him, you got a pretty good chance of getting him off the field.
Now, on the other side, you teased mentioning Walter Nolan, who made his debut, the Cardinals' first-round pick, defensive tackle, who's just eating up everything on that offensive line against the Cowboys last week. He debuted to the tune of 4 tackles, a pass defense, and a sack. Obviously was not playing when the Seahawks faced this team earlier in the season. Can one guy make that much of an impact, or what does Nolan do now for that defensive line that the Seahawks didn't see the first time?
Yeah, he's a problem. He's a really hyper-athletic guy, and I think what we have seen in Seattle with so much of the success, and I'll get to it in Blue 88 with the numbers and the rush that's extraordinary, what we've seen and what we've heard is guys playing off of one another. Oh, man. DJ says it a ton every week. Like the way that Leonard and Byron are playing off one another, playing to their different strengths and leverage and understanding where they are. Kind of like an O-line, right? We talk about continuity and having a feel. And when they combo block, you don't even have to say anything. You know, watching Hutch and Walter do their thing as I got to do for years. I mean, it was majestic. It's beautiful. They're just so dominant. And they didn't have to say anything. And we're starting to see some of that with the Seahawks defensive line, right? Some of their rush games, you know, coach gives them a lot of freedom to do what they want to do in some of those calls, and they are taking off with it. I say all of that because it's just one game, so he's not there, and their defense isn't there. But Calais Campbell is an absolute man-child, not even grandpa child. I mean, just a more immortal child in the NFL. He's 40 years old. And in the first matchup, you remember, he was a problem for the Seahawks offensive line. And now you pair this young cat that can really move. He's kind of, he's more in the Byron Murphy, just a fire hydrant, super explosive, super twitchy. And they got a couple other good pieces on that D-line. So they're going to be salty, man. The reason they're 3-5 is not their defense. Their defense kept them in a lot of games. They're basically all one-possession games. They've been good, just like they kind of were against the Seahawks first time around. They'll give up some things, but you're not going to just blister them. So you're going to have to earn it. And that Nolan paired with Calais Campbell will be a good challenge for the boys up front.
I know the Cardinals' defense appears to be much better with him in there. I wonder how much better the Seahawks are as well, because I think that game could have been a blowout had they not had all these self-inflicted mistakes. I mean, it felt like in that game the Seahawks were in control. It got very nerve-wracking because they blew a 14-point lead, and then that missed field goal, and you have to come down the field and win. Yep. And we talked about the Thursday night game and all the things that go into that. So now, on a full week, and by the way, a short week for your opponent because the Cardinals played that Monday night game, back-to-back weeks. The Seahawks get the benefit of that. So, hey, there's a good schedule break for the Seahawks. But with the health of the defense now, with a Nick Emanwari in there compared to last time when he wasn't, a full week of prep, everything we've seen about how good this defense can be with all this time to dedicate to preparing for another opponent, I don't know. On the surface, it just feels like, hey, you don't make mistakes, this should be a win. I know it's never that easy in the NFL, but that's just kind of what jumps out. How many self-inflicted mistakes happened in that first game?
Quite a few. And yes, I think the biggest advantage, if there is a big advantage in this game, is your defense versus their offense in your building. That should be very, very loud. That I think the 12s are feeling this team, are feeling like, man, this thing looks and feels and just different. There's some real upside here. And you're 6-2. And get back to creating just a monster home field advantage. So playing off all of that noise and all of that energy and against that offensive line in a very average to pedestrian running game. Yeah, good tight end, and Marvin Harrison Jr. is coming around, and I think both of those guys, McBride and Harrison Jr., are benefited by a pro at quarterback. I think if you listen to the tight end, he will tell you that 100 times, how thankful he is for Jacoby being in there. But I think that's the single biggest advantage if you want to talk matchups. Seahawks defense versus Arizona's offense. You do your thing. You play your game. You play with the speed that you've got up front and all the talent. They should have a hard time scoring even 20 points, 17 points, 14 points. The flip side is offensively, Arizona's going to win some. They're a feast or famine defense. They love to pressure. They love to get up to the line of scrimmage. They love to show one thing and put their linebackers in the A gaps. And hey, are they coming? Are they not coming? Your communication has got to be on point. They're going to win some. They're going to have some negative plays, but they also give you opportunities if you block it up and if you throw it and catch it on time, to make big plays. And you saw that the first time around.
Hey, a lot has been made of the run game, and the pure output, yardage-wise, is not good. It's not where people expect it to be. Mark Schlereth is on with Lyman and Bob every week. He has long kind of beaten the drum that the yardage is not important to him. It's the attempts. And as long as you stick to it and you maintain, you're going to use the run to set up everything else. But in that first Cardinals game, it felt like that was the one game this season where they really could have used a run game because they weren't able to run out the clock. And it led to a couple of Arizona touchdowns late in the game that led to that tie. Is this where you think, all right, down the stretch here, Arizona, not St. Louis, why did I say St. Louis? The Rams. It's early, Brock. I haven't had my coffee. Arizona, and then the Rams, and all these division games. Are you going to need to see something more in terms of pure production from the run game?
Yeah, and I think maybe explosive runs, right? I mean, you're just kind of waiting for Ken to have one of those 45-yarders, for Charbonnet to have one of those 55-yarders. And this is the kind of style, again, that you can pierce them. They're going to overload. They're going to win. They're going to stunt. They're going to move. They're going to show one thing pre-snap. It's going to be a different thing post-snap. And there's going to be some 0-yard runs. Hopefully you can avoid the negatives. That's also, I think, really handy. Just kind of kneecapped some of the run game in the matchups earlier. Was just, golly, I run it now. It's 2nd and 13. We can't have negative runs. But they will limit you, and they will feast or famine. But when there is a crease, this feels like the game, Mike, where we may see a 60 or 70-yard run.
Okay.
And you know what that does to your average. All of a sudden, you look up at the end of it and you ran it 30 times for 140 yards, but 70 of them came on one carry. That's the league. That's the game. And they've got to find a way to crease one of those this weekend.
All right, Brock, I'm speaking your language here. You can watch high school playoff football live tonight. The Seattle Sports Game of the Week, presented by STSPN. The Tahoma Bears take on the Glacier Peak Grizzlies at 7 o'clock tonight from Veterans Memorial Stadium in Snohomish for the first round of the 4A playoffs. Watch the game at 7 tonight exclusively on the Seattle Sports app, seattlesports.com, and the Seattle Sports YouTube page for full 2025 matchups. Visit seattlesports.com/high school football. We'll get some high school football talk in here one of these days, right?
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we got playoffs. We got a little bye this weekend.
Playoffs.
Playoffs.
I had to.
Playoffs.
Playoffs. All right. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Congrats on the bye. But right now, let's get to Blue 88.
This is Brock and Salk's Blue 88, powered by Xfinity.
We're going to go red, right, tight, close, sprint left, G, U corner, halfback, flat, on one. Ready?
Brock Heward tackles 3 football questions as only he can.
Blue 88.
Now here's your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
All right, Brock, question number 1. Who does Colin Cowherd think is the best quarterback in the league today? And how does it compare with Daniel Jeremiah from earlier this week?
Well, it's got to be Stafford, Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield. Now he doesn't wear his hair or his hat backwards, right?
Yeah, that was the big thing.
Got to be Mahomes. Got to be any of those guys, right? Wrong. Here was Cowherd talking about our guy is the best in the NFL.
Darnold's number 1. Allen and Stafford right below him. Drake May, Herbert, Baker Mayfield. Mahomes, Jones, Prescott, and Goff. Now, that's not necessarily that far from reality. Now, if you're talking careers, Mahomes would be at the top. But if you're talking today, this second, Sam Darnold is the best quarterback in the NFL. It is unbelievable. You just don't see that ever. You could say, well, what about Baker? Baker in Cleveland won a playoff game. And the year he did, his quarterback rating was, I think it was 96 or 98. I think it was 96. Sam's passer rating in New York was not even good for a backup. He had more turnovers than touchdowns. Like, forget the winning. It wasn't productive. It was awful. And we know now that everybody's awful with the Jets. But what he is doing is incredibly rare.
Number 1. Wow.
Yeah, and his point being you don't go from the outhouse to the penthouse. You can go from the outhouse to the good house, but all the way up to number 1, which is where the metrics have him, which is where PFF has him and QBR has him. And, he's had 3 games. I was looking at this earlier in the week, Lefko. 3 games with a QBR above 97. It's like 97.3, 97.5, 97.8. It was the Saints game, the Buccaneers game. And then last Sunday, he hadn't had a game in the 90s his first 8 years of his career. Very few quarterbacks do. It's really hard to have a 90 grade. So he's speaking that the name that Daniel Jeremiah said earlier in the week was Joe Burrow. And because I said, what do you see when you watch him? He's like, I'm seeing Joe Burrow right now. I'm seeing the processing that fast. I'm seeing the feet and the eyes that connected. Here's the thing about Burrow, and here's going to be the key for the next 9 weeks. And it will start Sunday with this pressure. It will be the following week against the Rams front that's equal to your front and is elite at getting after the quarterback. Joe Burrow, when the play breaks down, he just never panics. He gets sacked a lot. He does.
Yeah,
he
Joe
gets
Cool.
sacked a lot. But he's Joe Cool. He's Joe Cool. Like if Sam can do that, right? If he can somehow, and we've seen it this year, right? the fumble in the end zone, the pick last week. There's always kind of a play, a game, maybe two, where it's just off schedule and it just looks frantic. If it can just calm down in those moments, and now I'm almost asking for perfection. I know that's impossible to do, but that would be the one last thing to check, is that when all you know what breaks loose, you are the calm in that fire.
You mean one perfect half wasn't good enough for you?
That was extraordinary. And yeah, to be thinking, here we are, 9 weeks into the season, and Colin Cowherd is going to have Sam Darnold is the number one quarterback in the league. I don't think anybody had that on our bingo cards.
All right, number 2. Brock, what's the most impressive aspect of the Seahawks sack game?
Yeah, John Boyle tweeted this out from Next Gen Stats. So a little tip of the cap to old Johnny over there with the Seahawks. And Next Gen doing all of the work behind this. The Seahawks have the second lowest blitz rate in the NFL. So a blitz, remember, is 5 or more rushers, is how I think Next Gen would designate a blitz. 5 or more rushers, they do it second fewest in all the NFL, 19% of the time. So that is, think of 5 snaps. They're only pressuring and bringing 5 or more on one of those 5. It doesn't look that way to your eye, Lefko. I know you're watching the game and going, that can't be. I'm seeing all these guys. No, what you're seeing is a ton of simulated pressure. There's guys coming, there's linebackers coming, there's DBs coming, but there's also guys dropping out. So they don't like to bring more than 5 or even 5, but 19% of the time. But this is why they're elite right now. They're pressuring the quarterback 40% of the time, which is the second highest in the NFL. Those two things don't normally equate, right? Usually if you're going to pressure the quarterback, what do I got to do? I got to heat him up. I got to bring guys. I got to bring the blitz. I got to bring it 30, 40, 50% of the time. Not these guys, not this group, not this talent. We can rush 4 and we can pressure the second highest rate in the NFL. That continues, Mike, more than anything else. If you told me, man, I'll give you one stat to continue. Is it JSN's yardage? Is it Sam Darnold's PFF grade? I would take that one right there, because in November and December and January, if you're getting home without having to bring people and you're impacting the game and pressuring the quarterback, you have a great chance to win week in and week out.
And that obviously speaks to the defensive line. I mean, goes without saying, right? The depth on that D-line, the performances this year from a Byron Murphy to kind of match up with what Leonard Williams and Jaron Reed have done. Every single person that D-line.
Uchenna Nwosu, a career year. DeMarcus Lawrence looks rejuvenated. Yeah, all of them. And they're wreaking havoc, and they got to do so again Sunday.
Yeah, and the Seahawks' third highest pure sack output of any team in the NFL. The Broncos just far and away the best, 46 sacks. Lions number 2 at 28. And the Rams, Steelers, Seahawks, among a few teams, third most sacks with 27 in the NFL this year. All right, number 3. All right, Brock, what is one element of the offense that Macdonald demands from Clint Kubiak, and why is it important?
I love this. Clint spoke yesterday to the media and kind of a little window in. I don't think Mike, he's busy enough being the CEO, calling the defense, doing everything he's got to do on that side. But he has reminded Mr. Kubiak a time or two, I really like it when your line gets to the line in a hurry and sets the tempo. Here was Clint talking about it.
Yeah, no, that's something that Coach is always installing in our offense, Coach Macdonald, and I think that's something that we're always working on, always trying to improve, our departure speed to the line of scrimmage, and that comes from just having a lot of confidence in the game plan, and it just comes from lots and lots of reps of practice.
It gets the defense set. Mike Macdonald knows on the other end, right? The reason he reinforces that to Clint and to the offense is he knows the burden that immediately puts on you defensively. If that line is breaking the huddle and they're getting set and they're getting in a formation, guess what you got to do? You got to make all your calls defensively with that same tempo and that same urgency and that same pace, right? So it's not that they're a no-huddle team, but you want to talk about affecting a defense and affecting a front and affecting the tempo of a game. Get lined up in a hurry. And then you give Sam Darnold even more time to scan that defense and get to the calls that he needs to get to, and I love it. I love it. It's like you go back in the day, man, when you used to play defense and basketball and you slap your hands on the floor like those Dukies would, and you get down in your stance and you say, bring it on. Let's bring it on. Or you get on your paddleboard, man. You get out there in a hurry. You know what I'm saying?
I hate lollygagging.
You ain't lollygagging on your paddleboard. You get out there on your paddleboard.
Has such a negative connotation. I get it. Yeah, sure. You bring the energy, but Man, no one wants to be compared to a floor slapper.
Okay, get on that paddleboard. Look at me. Look at me out here. I'm ready to go. You want any takers? I'll race any of you to that buoy and back. Let's go.
Now, I'm trying to think how that still relates to the Seahawks offense
Blue
and
88.
defense. But
That's
yeah, no,
tempo.
that is Blue 88. No, I get it, though, from a defensive perspective. That's the unique insight that Mike Macdonald can provide as a defensive guru, as a guy that can go to Clint Kubiak. And I know these coaches do it a lot during the bye week and when they have time to self-scout and say, look, I know personally what this does to a defense because I've had it happen to me. So it seems like that back and forth is just paid off.
Look at the opposite
so
of it
well.
last night. You watch those teams, and especially the Raiders, they're breaking the huddle. They're asking questions. They're getting lined up late. They're sloppy. Tyler Lockett's pants are halfway down his butt. Geno's limping around. Tackles can't play in the league. I'm sitting in the shotgun all game, and you're just the target, man. You're just the nail. You're never the hammer. You watch both those offenses last night, never the hammer. They were constantly the nail, and that's been what's so cool about this Seahawks offense. They have been dictating. They have been the hammer and been fun to watch.
Hey, Brock, what kind of shoes are you wearing right now?
Nike, yeah, Nike Air. What are they? 270s or whatever.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm wearing. I don't know if I can see this. I'm wearing some Nikes as well. So I like mine better, but we'll see. Coming up next, we'll see whose shoes you'd rather be in. See, that's where I was going with that one. Yeah.
Okay, Mikey.
We'll dive into some whose shoes coming up next. Mike Lefko and Brock Heward with you. Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Wyman and Bob.
Is this like a signature win?
Every afternoon at 2.
To try to get people to believe in this team. They just cruised the entire way.
While I think it's an impressive win, I wouldn't call it a signature win based on the opponent. To me, a signature win is beat the Rams. Beat a team, especially in your division, that's really good record-wise. That's what I would title a signature win. If they beat the Rams, that's the best opponent they've got in like the next 5 games.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, only on Seattle Sports.
What if you could have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most. That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family is banking on bandwidth. All your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger. But your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity. Imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors. Held to a higher standard since 1968.
Nobody hooks you up like Popeyes. The Big Box is the reward that keeps on rewarding. Crack it open and you're greeted by 2 pieces of crispy signature chicken. Or if you want, 3 tenders, nestled in there with the 2 sides speaking to you most in this moment. You got that biscuit, and what are you waiting for? Dig right on in. That's feast mode activated, and you're in Big Box business for $6. Love that chicken from Popeyes. At participating U.S. restaurants, price may vary, tax extra.
The birth of the American supercar is roaring into LeMay, America's Car Museum, October 25th. Curated by racing legend Steve Saleen, this high-octane exhibition features icons like Hennessy, Shelby, Zinger, and more. Don't miss it. Visit americascarmuseum.org.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Veterans Day is a moment where we express gratitude towards the folks who have served on our behalf, our veterans. And Navy Federal Credit Union celebrates veterans of all branches and their families on Veterans Day and every day of the year. They serve over 2 million veterans, and as a veteran, you can become a member and access exclusive rates, discounts, and financial tools for the whole family. Become a member at NavyFederal.org/veterans. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
This hour is brought to you by Trajan Wealth Management.
Give me a freaking auto! From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewert is my hero.
Jay Buhner just punched me in the kidney.
We're going to see you on manager.
Doesn't really work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It kind of does, though.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewert and Mike Salk.
Hello! Mike Lefko, Brock Ewert here with you. Been a fun Friday so far, Brock, and we've talked about a wide range of things. Now we're gonna do whose shoes here. But before we start, I gotta say, I gotta give a shout out.
I got a confession to make too.
Can I give a shout out first, or you confess?
Give a shout out.
All right, so Matt in Beaverton, when I held up my shoe, he nailed the exact type of shoe, and I just flung it up there pretty quickly. It is an AJ1 golf shoe, cool gray and gamma blue.
What?
There you go.
You're wearing golf shoes in the house?
you can wear these because they don't have the spikes. So they're wearable for all occasions.
Good for
and
you.
the color scheme was too good to pass up.
Got you.
So that's the motivation behind that. So great
I
call
don't know
there,
if you
Matt.
saw my tweet last night or yesterday. I tweeted about the most regal, beautiful beast that I've ever had in my yard.
Mm-hmm.
This
I saw
deer.
It,
Did you see it? How healthy, how beautiful.
What did you do to it?
How robust, how amazing he was. So I tweeted out about how much he's just filling each day of mine, looking out the window and seeing him there. And then I was like, should I get him a salt lick? Should I get him apples? Should I feed him? And my father-in-law right away was like, do not. He's a wild beast. Yeah. I heard from a Mount Rainier park supervisor, do not feed him. I heard from many others, feed him.
Yeah,
feed
you
him.
fed him.
Yeah. So I did I've got to confess, I think I totally screwed up. Molly had an apple. She had one slice left. I'm like, well, this is meant to be. Let me just take care of big fella. I'm not going to get a salt lick. I'm not going to go crazy. Let me just toss him a little apple slice off the deck. So open the door. He pops right up. He's looking at me. Toss him a little apple slice. Think I'm doing him. Just, hey, buddy, I love you. Here you go. And he got up and he looked at me like, you just don't get it. And I haven't seen him since. Like he didn't want a handout.
Oh, I thought it was the other way. I thought you were going to say now there's 5 of them there.
No,
they know you're going to feed them.
No, he was so regal. Oh. He was so beautiful.
That did not go the way I thought it would.
No, he was like, really? That
he's ashamed of you. Okay.
Yeah, he's
Lost
ashamed
a lot of respect.
of me. He did.
Oh, man.
And now he's gone.
All right.
And now he's gone, and the apple slice is still sitting in the middle of the yard. Like, what an idiot I was. Should have just listened to the people.
All right.
Anyhow,
we don't want to be in Brock's shoes then, obviously. But yeah, Maura, whose shoes do we want to be
All
in
right.
today?
I hope you can do this. Salk said we should save it for you, but I told him I was a little worried because you always want to win everything, and this isn't really a win game. It's just to get some insight into your thinking.
Right.
You can win everything.
Okay.
No, Mike.
Yeah.
No.
All right.
Is this why you're
Well,
still
let's see
single?
how you do
Oh,
here.
wow.
Is this why you're
Who
single?
says
Is
I'm
this
still
your
single?
Oh.
Oh.
No, I shouldn't say that. Then I have listeners who would get way too excited about that potential news. So.
All right. Whose shoes, as far as head coaches, Aaron Glenn or Brian Schottenheimer?
Brock, I'll let you go first.
Well, I think Aaron Glenn bought himself and his shoes another year plus, maybe 2, by just, hey, we're taking it down to the studs. We're going to start all over. We did this in Detroit. Yeah, but then again, you've got to work in that organization. It's never
You got to
won.
deal with Woody Johnson or Jerry Jones either way.
Well, you have to deal with Woody Johnson's grandkids, right? Or no, those are his sons. Either
Yeah.
way, he has some children advising him.
I'm going to go no state income tax. I'm going to go Texas. I'm going to go Shoddy. And Dak Prescott and some of those dudes that are really good dudes.
Yeah, that team just seems so much better. And you know what?
George
For
Pickens
all
is
of
crazy,
Jerry
though.
Jones's
Crazy.
Crazy maneuvering and whatever he does, he is strangely loyal. Maybe to a fault. I mean, he kept Jason Garrett around for a long time, and everyone thought Garrett was underachieving. So as long as he's going to handpick you and you're going to be the yes man to him, he'll keep you around. And this is a handpicked hire. I'd rather be Brian Schottenheimer because of all that.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so too.
All right, good. We agreed. We both won, Maura. See? That's how you can both win. It doesn't have to be one or the other. It's not a zero-sum game. We are both winning in this game. We all can win today.
Sure, Lefko. All right, QBs with a 116 passer rating currently. Drake May or Sam Darnold? Who's shoes?
Sam, not close. Yeah, Drake's getting the snot kicked out of him in his shoes. I mean, I told you about the Cardinals. The 2 QBs have been combined 29 sacks. What is Drake? Drake's
34.
in the 30s. Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah,
no.
You're right.
Give me Seattle over Boston, Foxborough. Give me Lumen Field over that stadium. Give me JSN and Cooper Kupp and Mike Macdonald. Vrabel's a great coach. He's done an awesome, awesome job. It will get real. Their schedule finally gets real. They're a little bit like the Broncos. They've been able to feast on some of the lessers and the lesser QBs, and he's done great. But, yeah, give me Sam's shoes. Although they're Converse with his flannels.
I agree with Darnold. He's been well protected, and this is a fun team to play with. And I think you have more offensive weapons than the Patriots do. I got to go back here to Brock's confession. There's another line of thinking that our texters have brought up. A few people have said the deer didn't leave because you gave him some food. The deer left because you only gave him one slice. This regal creature wanted the whole apple. No. What are you doing? Just giving him a slice? Come on. Why are you holding out on him?
No.
Give him a whole apple.
He thought I was better.
I agree with the Texans.
He thought you pitied him.
Yeah.
I think he would just be offended you didn't give him more. He's going to another house. It's like trick or treat. You guys had a lot of discussion about Halloween candy. Trick or treating. Whose shoes you going to? The house that gives out the tiny candy bars or the king size candy bars? You know that answer. He's going to the house that gives multiple apples.
Maybe.
You screwed up,
Maybe
Brock.
that's why he's so big and regal and beautiful.
Yep.
Gosh.
All right.
It's the shoes. The shoes? It's gotta be the shoes.
I'm an idiot.
All right. Whose shoes? The 2026 Mariners with Tarek Skubal or the 2026 Mariners with Alex Bregman?
Skubal. Skubal.
For this.
Hashtag bring him home.
I mean,
I'm starting it. I'm starting it.
Yeah.
Bring him home. Hashtag bring him home.
G's coming in here at 8:30, and I'll just pay an ode to him here. Bregman might be good, but Tarek Skubal is the best in the world.
All right, Lyle, the 2026
Lyle, you
Mariners
gotta
with
say it
Tarek
better than
Skubal
that.
or with Kyle Tucker?
Lyle, you got to say it better.
Wait, hang on.
Are you still climbing the mountain, by the way, if Kyle Tucker comes here?
Okay. Sorry.
I have climbed that mountain. It's tough.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
You're not going to do it well.
I'll be fine.
No.
Wait, say that again, Brock.
Say best in the world like with some, like you mean it.
All right. He's the best in the world. How about that?
Thank you. That's better. Yeah, do that for G. See how he would evaluate that.
All right.
You'd like that. You'd like that. Yeah, bring him home. Bring him home.
This question was so much better when it was just Skubal or Bregman. Don't make me pick between Skubal and K-Tuck. I have to pick Kyle Tucker.
K-Tuck.
Oh, yeah, they're guys now. They have a connection.
K-Tuck.
K-Tuck.
That's his I don't know. That's his Instagram handle.
Okay.
That's Lyle, the back of Lyle's shirt
Lyle knows
says
everything
K-Tuck
about
right
Kyle
now.
Tucker.
I mean,
he's wearing a Kyle Tucker jersey right now.
It's Kyle Tucker. Yep. It's Got that.
All right.
Ooh,
All right.
a good change there. I don't know. For the sake of hilarity, Bregman would be fascinating, but no, he's not better than
Bregman or
Skubal,
Naylor?
obviously.
You
Well,
have to-
you have no answer at first base. You'd have to do something at first. I'd say Naylor. I mean, third you can replace easier than first right now.
Kyle, Bregman, or Naylor? You only get one.
Kyle. Who's Kyle?
I'm sorry.
Kyle Tucker or
Kyle?
Naylor?
Yeah.
His name's Lyle. I know.
El
Kyle and
Gold.
Lyle are
El
close.
Gold. El Gold.
Oh, God.
You get Bregman or Naylor.
I'm with Lefko on this. You need an answer at first base. Naylor's younger. I think I'd actually pick Naylor here.
Yeah. All right.
We got one more.
The shoe. It's gotta be the shoes.
We got one more.
One
the
more.
5 and
Yeah.
2 Packers or the 5 and 3 Lions?
I'll go here. I'll say Lions. The Packers have not been impressive. They also have a tie on there. So, And they lost to the Panthers last week. They didn't look good. Jordan Love looks like he's kind of stagnated a little bit.
Yeah, Love's hard
I'm
for
going
me,
Lions.
man. He is very talented. He just, I like more urgency. Just more like, just sheriffs in town. Just a little more command, right? He's pretty chill, pretty Cali, Utah State, just kind of chill, which has served him unbelievably well. He's a great player, but I kind of like Goff. I really like that head coach. I love Aiden Hutchinson's comeback. Whose shoes? Motor City shoes. That's
Yeah, I was just looking too at the Packers schedule because that tie came against the Cowboys. They gave up 40 points. We talked about easy schedules
So
and
the
tough
Packers
schedules.
just
They're about to play the
annihilated
Eagles.
the Lions in the opener, though, right?
Yeah, but that was the opener.
That was the opener.
Then they looked dominant against the
27-13.
Commanders, and then ever since then they've been shaky.
Right. They barely beat the Bengals. The Cardinals almost beat them.
They lose their tight end. They're kind of
true.
game-changing for
Right.
the ACL.
They still have to play the Eagles, go to Denver, play Minnesota a couple times. That Vikings defense looks really good. They shut down the Lions last week. So, I don't know. Packers might be on the decline here. We'll see. All right, who won? Did Kyle/Lyle win? I think he did.
There's no win.
No winners. We're all winners here. All right. No, fun version of
Textro usually
whose
wins,
shoes.
and I think they're right. I think I
About
totally
the
screwed it
apple?
up in every way
Yeah.
with my Regal Beast. So
Okay, well, you ponder that during the break. This is a Football Friday powered by the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. We're going to get into a few more things you need to know about this upcoming week of games in the NFL and some MLB free agency updates. All that coming up on Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Wyman and Bob.
Sam Darnold has been sacked just 9 times this year.
Every afternoon at 2.
How much of that do you put on the pass protection he's getting versus how quickly he's getting rid of the ball?
The offensive line's doing their job, but I would say hitting a spot like 35, 40 yards downfield that's so tiny. I mean, that is really impressive, but the most rare talent to me is a guy who can move around the pocket and keep his eyes downfield.
Only on Seattle Sports and Seattle Sports on YouTube.
Hi, I'm Emily, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company, where a small box with a burgundy bow will help you win the holidays. As an in-house designer, I love creating meaningful, fine jewelry gifts. Choose a necklace with a gorgeous infinity charm to symbolize your everlasting love, or go for a personalized piece with an engraving, their zodiac sign, favorite color gemstone, or their initial accented with pave diamonds, because a friend wants you to be a holiday hero. Stop by or shop now at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA World Cup here in Seattle. And our more than 95 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Are your investment dollars working as hard as they should be? You've spent years building your future. Don't let outdated advice put it at risk. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. We're a veteran-owned firm proud to bring a new standard of financial care to the Seattle area. Our nationally recognized advisors are fiduciaries, ethically bound to put your interests first. That's the highest standard of care in the industry. As a privately held company, we answer to you, our valued clients, not shareholders. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a customized plan. From Bellevue to Tacoma, get advice you can count on. It's time to take a fresh look at your financial plan. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-466-3300. That's 206-466-3300. Trajan Wealth. Plan smarter, dream bigger.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
At Washington Energy Services, we take the time to get to know you and your home. We have the passion and commitment to see each project through and to treat our work as more than just a job. For over 65 years, we've offered award-winning home services, from heating and cooling, plumbing and electrical, to windows and doors. Complete home improvement handled from start to comfort. For peace of mind when you need it most, count on Washington Energy Services, bringing good energy to your home.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports. Touchdown! Seahawks! Ken Walker III! Get everything Seahawks at seattlesports.com.
New siding doesn't have to break the bank. We offer affordable options that add value and protection to your home. This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. And while we're at it, ask about our roofing, windows, decking, and gutter services for even more savings. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free siding inspection. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
State Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Now through November 16th, new Comcast Business customers can get started with 150 megabit internet plus security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and auto pay with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
As a quarterback, you cannot run a winning play with a messy playbook. And most companies' data, well, it's a mess. AI is changing the game, but if your data is scattered, you're stuck on the sidelines. Brock Heward here, and this is where my friends at Marquee Data come in. They get your data in shape, clean, connected, ready to perform, so you can finally put AI to work for your business. Whether sales, finance, or operations, every smart move starts with the right data. So head to mydataqb.com to draw up your game-winning data play today. That's Marquee Data or mydataqb.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Up first, more people weighing in on the deer situation, Brock. 253
Of course
is a
they
good
do.
answer.
It's taken over.
It's taken over. I'm sure the deer was farsighted, even more farsighted than Brock. He could not see the apple piece.
Okay, I want to go peek and see if he's out there. You know what? I'll wait till the segment's over. I'm not
Do you want me to just... I'll ramble on. I'll filibuster while you run out there.
Segment. I won't leave you,
Okay.
Mikey.
I mean, you had a whole commercial break to go check. So
I know. I was dealing with text and other stuff. Are deer farsighted? Is that the deal? Nearsighted?
I don't know. There could be
I
a
think
Brock
deer have
Heward
great
deer.
vision. I'll
that's
tell you what,
farsighted.
deer have amazing sense of freaking smell and ears. I creep around inside the house and thinking, this little ear pokes up like you do. Like you do when poke up. You think you win whose shoes.
And when
anyhow, enough of that
food on
nonsense.
the line,
That's not what people need to know.
No,
What do
people
they
need to know about the Seahawks injury report. The final one comes out this afternoon. There are a handful of receivers that might not play, that could play. Cooper Kupp was limited in
He's not gonna
practice.
play.
Okay. Brock has called there. He's not going to play. So you could be down at least 3 receivers.
Bobo's not going to play. Derek's
Right.
not going to play.
So that puts a lot on Rasheed Shaheed, who has just arrived here. He got here middle of the week, but Sam Darnold has already been impressed with what he's seen from the new Seahawks wide receiver.
To be honest, the way that he is right now, though, just meeting him, he seems like he's got a really good head on his shoulders. He understands kind of what to expect in terms of the offense and all those things. So we're just going to, any questions, I feel like he's done a really good job already of asking questions and, being curious about kind of his role and what we're asking him to do. So he's been really good that way.
Yeah, Torrey Horton's the one to watch today. He and Ernest Jones. Those will be the 2, I think, critical designations. I'd be really surprised if any of those other 3 receivers play. I think they're all going to be listed as out. Keep an eye on Ernest Jones and then Horton's injury. Looks like it kind of flared up. He's a full participant on Wednesday. Could not go yesterday. What does that look like today? That could be a difference maker. Because you say, well, you just play all your tight ends and you get heavy and put your backs and just have Rasheed and JSN do all the work. No, you need Torrey Horton. You'd like to have him out there. He's just ascending, and hopefully this is just a little setback yesterday, but that will be what to watch today.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Brock, I know you weren't overly pleased. Neither were a lot of people with the Thursday night football game last night. The Broncos did come out on top, 10-7. They're the first team to 8 wins
Can I hear this
this
Pete
season.
Carroll cut? He
You want
was
to hear
really
this Pete Carroll
praising
cut?
the effort. Come on, Pete.
Yeah, okay. He was.
The way that they competed was just what we're hoping for. I mean, it's just what we're looking for. And could we not clip a guy? Could we not hold a guy? Yeah. Could we not pick a guy? Yeah. There's so many things we can get better at, but the fight is in this dog now. Ain't no doubt about it. And I couldn't wait to tell them how proud I was of the way they competed.
Jeepers.
Yeah.
The fight is in this dog. That sounds like somebody that's hearing, unfortunately, a lot of the noise that is going around out there about where the program is and where it's headed and the decision to bring Geno in and, where's this going, Pete? Where's this going? Because, there was a lot of fight. They did. Their defense played very, very well. Took the ball away a couple times, set them up for a lot of success. Their punter was extraordinary in that first half, pinning them back. But the penalties were outrageous. And once again, more penalties than first downs. And this is coming off a game a couple weeks ago against Kansas City where Kansas City just took a knee. I mean, they took a knee before the 2-minute warning. On a day you had 3 first downs. So Chip Kelly, Geno Smith, that offensive line, issue after issue after issue.
Yeah, 2-7 this year. Is this it? One and done for Pete in Vegas? The noise, speaking about the outside noise, it's kind of getting louder. I know you guys heard from Amy Trask. You played a cut from her. We talked to Frank Schwab yesterday and Wyman and Bob, the national writer for Yahoo Sports. He said he would be surprised if Pete Carroll's back after this season. So, I know, is this it for Pete in Vegas?
Yeah, I think Tom Brady. I think it'll be Tom Brady, and obviously Mr. Davis's decision there. Spytech is a Tom Brady guy, the GM, and I think is Pete Carroll a Spytech Tom Brady guy. If this continues to go down this path and they're 3-14, hard to imagine you get another runaround.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Brock, I got to get to this before you get out of here, and I know you got to take off, so G will join me at 8:30, and then we'll take it the rest of the way. But the Huskies, 23rd in the college football playoff rankings, they have a pretty enviable stretch to close out. They're at Wisconsin tomorrow, at 2-6 Wisconsin. Then they host 2-7 Purdue. Then it's a 3-win UCLA team, and all of a sudden, you're sitting there. That season finale against Oregon. I know you guys talked to Joel Klatt about this, but you look at the Huskies tomorrow in that game against Wisconsin, and all of a sudden there might be some noise here about Washington and of ascending towards that college football Final 12.
This one will be kind of like, are you a grown-up? Year 2 of Jed Fish, first time ranked under Jed. They've done some spectacular things, some big wins this year, some huge offensive explosions. Right, the win over Illinois was a good one. Competitive with Ohio State and Michigan. Play here, especially against Michigan. Play there in the second half. But, are you a grown-up? Can you go to Wisconsin, and they're a down team with real issues offensively, but they're salty on defense. They're good on defense. They're going to make you earn it. Can you go there and win this game? And if so, you'll probably be inside the top 20 of the rankings the next time around. And as you said, give yourself a chance with a schedule that sets up really well for those Ducks to come into town late November.
That is everything you need to know. Brock, what do you think of that Oregon team? It's tough to kind of gauge how good they are because everyone held up that win at Penn State. Hey, you go in there, you win, double overtime. Oh, wait, Penn State's terrible. And then they got blown out at home against Indiana. They're ranked 9th right now. Yeah. Is that a good Oregon team, or is this a team that Washington can beat?
I think literally, Lefko, there's Indiana and Ohio State, and then there's just like everybody else, and every game in the FCC is a one-possession game, truly. I think last week I looked at 6 of the 7 games were all one possession. There's no longer the dominant Alabama and Nick gets everybody or LSU gets everybody. Like it is that talent spread everywhere there. I do think Indiana is so well coached. My gosh. I know you're a Purdue guy, and that probably pains you to see that. It
pains me a lot.
Crazy man Signetti doing what he's doing. I do like Barry Odom a lot, by the way. I think he'll make Purdue relevant.
It's basketball season, Brock, for Purdue. We don't care about Purdue football.
You're number one in the country. Number one in the country. What is Oregon? I think Oregon's with a group of about 10 or 15 teams that's super, super talented, and not Ohio State. So how about that?
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait for that game. It is going to be a heck of a season finale when Washington hosts Oregon to end the season. Brock, I know you got to get out of here. I mean, do I say hey is in the barn? Do we? How do we end here?
No. Okay. You just keep rolling. G's going to make you uncomfortable. He's going to make Lyle more uncomfortable. I will let the people know over the course of the weekend what happens with my Regal Beast. If he forgives me, if he comes back, there will be no more feeding. There will be no more flirting. I will just admire him for what he is. It's an absolute beauty. But I understand. If I lost him, I lost him. And that's on me. I take that responsibility. Have a great one, Mike.
All right. Good luck, Brock, with all of that. Thank you. I know you'll be back on Monday, so you guys will all hear from him on the saga then. But we will continue. G. Scott joins me next year. Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2.
You and I got into a debate. They needed to make a statement. You were like, they're a good team that's kind of flown under the radar, but I think they like that.
To me, I use the word like signature win. I guess you can't make a statement, but I like signature. I like that because signature win is like, all right, be the team you're supposed to beat, like dominate this game. We want to feel like this game is over by halftime, and that's what they did.
Only on Seattle Sports on 710, Seattle Sports on YouTube, and the Seattle Sports app.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI agent can be set up in minutes to answer calls and questions 24/7, so you never miss a customer, lead, or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Mike's Western Suppliers and CL Western Apparel remind listeners many uniformed personnel and healthcare providers will spend this holiday season working hard to keep us safe. These heroic men and women spend long hours away from home, protecting our freedom and providing critical medical care. Please thank them for their many sacrifices and putting their lives on the line for us every day. Happy holidays to you and yours from the entire team at Mike's Western Suppliers and CL Western Apparel. Family owned and proudly serving our community for over 30 years.
This is the home of the Seahawks. Going to let one fly deep. Got a man out there. Ball is caught down at the 10-yard line, and it's JSN Seattle Sports.
We are well into the rainy season, Seattle, but it's not too late to get your roof replaced. Schedule your free estimate at 3treeroofing.com and get $500 off your roofing project this winter. Our certified technicians build a custom plan for your home, ensuring a worry-free installation even in the winter months. Replace your roof now while material prices are low and lead times are short. Stop wasting your time on costly repairs and Band-Aid fixes. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free estimate today and secure your $500 discount. 3Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. Are they a reliable service? How will I know if something happens? Are they keeping everyone safe? At Bay Alarm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bayalarm.com today to talk to a local security expert.
The birth of the American supercar is roaring into LeMay, America's Car Museum, starting October 25th. Curated by racing icon Steve Saleen, this electrifying exhibition showcases the evolution of American speed, style, and engineering, featuring icons like Hennessy, Shelby, Zinger, and more. From raw horsepower to groundbreaking design, this is the ultimate tribute to performance. Don't miss the birth of the American supercar, opening October 25th at LeMay, America's Car Museum. Visit americascarmuseum.org to learn more.
Carpoolers using the SR 167 Express toll lanes now need a Flex Pass set to HOV mode to ride free. That's a change. Having Good to Go always costs less than pay by mail. That is not a change. Learn more at goodtogo167.com.
Hey, Mike Salk here. Book your stay at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel for an evening of elegance at a night at the Grand Ball. This New Year's Eve celebration includes the legendary DJ Super Sam. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Gee, great chaos as you walk in. Everything's working fine. I walk in here. Everything's good. G sits down. He's like, hey, the headset's not working.
Hey, man, I don't know
and
what's
breaking
going on.
every mic position.
Stacey Joe is going to show up ready
not
for
gonna understand
for
what's
the
going
Bump
on.
and Stacey show,
Won't
and
be
her
able to hear.
headphones are. I bet you Stacey broke it.
That's a bold accusation.
I mean, I'm known to do that.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning to you, bro.
Hey, good morning.
So
Yeah.
let me get this straight. They trusted you by yourself with me?
I guess
with this
so,
crowd?
right? Well, Maura and Lyle are here to help out,
let
I
this
think.
happen? Like,
You guys have done this together before.
I mean, not together by ourselves. There's usually
Who
a
else was
buffer.
here? I thought you guys did this at least once.
I think
was Brady here?
I think my Aussie brother was here.
Okay.
Ryan
Ryan
Rhodes
Smith.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
no, it was more of like I didn't want Brock to be the instigator and add on to it.
Right.
I was like, I think just you and me. We
Okay.
can do it. Fine.
Speaking of that, before we get into sports, because I know that's what everybody wants me to come here and talk about sports. I was yesterday, Mara and Lyle heard it. Brock said to me during the break that, just dispel the myth. I don't want to get in trouble from HR, but Brock said that you are now dating a black woman.
So he said that during the break, right?
He
so
said-
probably something he didn't want to bring up on air, but he wanted you to get me off my game, right?
Right. He said this in front of Lyle, in front of Mara. So I don't want you to think that I'm making this up. Mara, am I telling the truth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he knew you had asked Lefko if he had ever dated a black woman before, so I think he wanted to stir some stuff.
Oh,
okay. So he said now currently you are dating a black woman.
And then what did he say later? He said that was a lie. He said that was a lie he made up.
No, I had to go to work. I had to go.
Oh, you weren't listening?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's just, Brock, we learned he doesn't know how to feed a deer. So I wouldn't trust what he says.
Okay.
So he did say that I think he was just trying to
So it's not
kind
true.
of juice it up and really get you and me going here. No, it's not true. Do you think I'm ever going to reveal anything honestly about my dating life on this show? Brock tries, and I indulge him a little bit.
But why would you not?
Because we have people listening, so they don't need to know about it.
But the people, but don't you think that makes you more endearing to the people when they know about your life?
No, I like to have a little mystery. Mystery is endearing. Also, because I might have family members listening,
I
and
was
they
going to say,
certainly
is it
don't need
also
to
because
know.
your mom might be listening and you don't want her to know?
Oh, your mama be listening to the show?
Oh, yeah.
What's your mama name?
Lori.
Hey, Lori, how you doing? I apologize.
Do you think she's going to respond? Like, text in 866-979-3776.
Mama Lori, I apologize. By the way.
No, she loves him, Brock, and you do this because then she's like, I can find out what's going on in your life.
By the way, Lori, you have a very good son. Like, he is a very nice guy. Why? He, really one of the nicest people in the building, always speaks to me. Very respectful young man. So good job.
This is why I bring G on. For the compliment section.
All right.
The compliment part of this section. Okay.
Let's get to it. What's up?
Well, you want to talk Seahawks, right? I was going to say, so I like that you're wearing the Mariners hats. I think the last time we did this, actually, you came in here and it looked like the Mariners team store had thrown up on you. You were fully in the mix with the Mariners jacket, maybe even like a couple of quarter zips and shirts and the hat as well. We know how tough Lyle took the loss. You saw the video, right?
No, the fake shower.
Yeah, the fake. That's what I said. Yeah. The fake shower. Yeah. So you guys talked about that, right? How are you feeling as that season came to an end? How long did it take you to get over it?
Well,
what do you think about this team now?
I don't know what you guys have been saying since, but I don't know if this is going to make you guys mad. But I am happy that the Dodgers won.
Oh, I'm very happy the Dodgers won.
Okay, we're on the same page. Yeah. I did not want the Blue Jays to win because if the Blue Jays would have won, it would have it would be like you in a breakup, right? And then your ex gets with someone. You would rather your ex get with someone you don't know. You don't want them to get with like your best friend. And the Toronto Blue Jays winning would have been like her getting with the best friend because you felt like the Mariners were just very close to that should have been us type deal. So it kind of worked out. But at the same time, I'm very happy about the Mariners season. I think that there was a lot to be happy about. I think finally we have something more to talk about than the 95 double. Right? We have some things to build on. I think that there is a lot of excitement going into next season, probably more so than a long time. And I think now that we have this understanding, management has the understanding, like, hey, y'all, you know what? We're going to spend some money on some bats. And the fans are like, hey, we kind of like it when you spend money on some bats. It works. So we got kind of a kumbaya moment. We got to make sure we sign and bring the people back that needs to be back. But more importantly, I keep wearing Mariner stuff because, well, full transparency, I got a lot of it.
I think you bought a ton this past season.
Over the last 2 seasons, I bought a lot. But so I got a lot of Mariner stuff. I keep rocking with them, and we get it going.
Yeah, I mean, it captured the city. It was great. I'm sure it kind of blended into everyday conversation, right? Did you find that more people in your life were just like, hey, let's talk about the Mariners now? Let's go to these games. Let's watch these games every night.
Me and some of the partners got together and watched the game. That's never happened. Like, it's been years since we got together and watched the Mariners, right? Like, how often do you go to a get together and it's Mariner baseball? That usually doesn't happen. It's usually football. So it was a beautiful thing. And one thing about the city of Seattle, and I think we've learned, when there is a winning team, people want to call it fair weather. You call it what you want. People like winners. Like, that's just kind of how life is, right? I don't make the rules. But when the Mariners were winning, like, that was fun. This city comes alive, baby. You know what I mean? Not just at the ballpark, but just in general. At your grocery store, at your gas station, coffee talk at work. Mariner baseball was real.
Yeah, it's a fun stretch. All right, well, you know what? Next time I fill in, and it's baseball season, we'll get back to that. But, we got to talk about the Seahawks because it's a big game coming up against the Cardinals, and they made a pretty big move for the receiving core, and now it even looks like it's more of a necessity, G, because all these guys are hurt.
Yeah.
Rasheed Shaheed, what do you like about him?
Yeah, he was very needed for right now. And we can go into how fast he is. Sure, yeah, no doubt. He's a fast player. He's a fast wide receiver. But more importantly, you look at right now the distribution in Sam Darnold, and I want to talk about Sam Darnold here in a second. But you look at right now JSN, who has 58 catches, I believe, on the season, and the next best after JSN, which JSN's is absolutely doing crazy right now. After him is Cooper Kupp, right, at 24, right, 24 catches. That's kind of a drop off. 1, 2 with Cooper Kupp. He was dinged up last week. I don't know what's going on this week. I have no idea what's going on with Cooper Kupp. But I think that you can kind of tell, like, hey, let's make sure you bring in not only someone who's really good, but more importantly than being fast. There's something more than being fast, is being and understanding the game, having a lot of reps. Torrey Horton is a very good football player, but he's a rookie, right? So as he's continuing, there's growth pains that come with that. JSN wasn't number one right away. It takes a lot. Understanding pre-snap reads, understanding what's going on, understanding when the zone man and all the different concepts. Bringing in Rasheed Shaheed makes this offense better, makes this offense more consistent, and it makes the defenses that play against this offense honest. It keeps them honest. You want to double and bracket JSN? Then now you have to pay the price for that. So I think the Seahawks made a great move in this trade. It's going to be phenomenal to see what happens. You got Arizona Cardinals that are coming into town. I tell you what I didn't know until like 5 minutes ago. Well, not 5 minutes because I've been here 5 minutes. Maybe 15 minutes ago. I didn't realize how many times the Arizona Cardinals have been beat by the Seahawks in a row. Like, I'm not trying to cause a jinx or anything like that, but, man, it has really been domination when it comes to the Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals. So I don't believe in talking about must-wins, but if there is a game that the Seahawks need to win, they definitely need to win this game against the Cardinals at home. Like, this is a home game. Of course, they've been doing well on the road, but this home game, this is where you want to extend, right? Like, there's already people, the experts are saying, oh, the Seattle Seahawks team is better than we thought they were. I think that the Seahawks are playing better than all of our expectations. But to really push that boundary, it's really pushing to the narrative of starting to really be contenders in this league. You got to win this game because you know what you got next week and you know what's upcoming.
Yeah, and I was going to say, not just next week, but the whole backloaded part of the schedule. Because you get past these two games, Cardinals, Rams. Then at the end of the season, Colts, Rams on a short week, which is not ideal. That's not going to be fun. You have a Colts Sunday game, a Rams Thursday game, and then the Panthers, and then the Niners to end the season. I mean, those are your tests right there. That's the part that jumps out to me there is, hey, take advantage of the games you can win. This next stretch coming up, where after you get past the Cardinals and the Rams, I'm watching this headset that you put over there about to fall off the desk, so we will monitor that. Yeah, I can't believe you broke a headset as you came in here. I got to get back to it. I know. It wasn't your fault. It just happened.
By the way, 425, just, thank you for being nitpicky. I said the 95 double. My bad. It was a double, but the 95 slide. Okay, there you go. All right, here we go. I'd call it a double. You can call it. You can talk.
Yeah, you can call it. Well, hold on.
It depends on which one. I always call it a double. But somebody talks about the slide, but I talk about the double, but apples and oranges.
Yeah, wow. That is really nitpicking.
That was
actually, well, 425 admitted it. I know I'm nitpicking. Yeah.
No, he admitted it. He admitted it.
He or she admitted it. Yeah. But, all right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fair. Okay, so you were going to talk about Sam Darnold as well.
It's kind of mid-season grade, right? Right here when it comes to the Seahawks, and I don't know if you guys have been doing that here on the station. I mean, the Seahawks right now have played 8 games.
Well, this is my pet peeve. We want to nitpick. I hate the 17-game schedule because you can't have a mid-season point.
I can't stand.
What are we going to interrupt halftime and do our mid-season projections?
Well, not for that reason, but I just really don't like. I mean, we all know 17's awful.
16 was perfect.
We all know it's about the money, but yeah, I agree. But
yes, we're at the mid-season. It's fair.
Right
this
now,
is mid-season.
Mid-season. Who's your Seahawks MVP right now? Mid-season great.
Well, that's a good question because I think Sam Darnold is a kind of consensus, maybe national MVP trendy pick at this point. But if we're talking about just the Seahawks MVP, it's got to be JSN because I think everyone hoped he would achieve this. But he has emerged as literally the best receiver in the NFL this year.
Huh. Wow.
What?
I didn't know anybody. Oh, is he? Is he the best receiver?
Yardage-wise, production-wise.
I had no idea. Yeah. I need to maybe start to look at that. Whether or not JSN is the best.
Yeah,
in the world.
I mean, are you going to go to Darnold? I can see there's a point to be made for Darnold, but JSN has been so valuable to what this offense is.
Because I would assume that this conversation, most people would say that G is going to say JSN is the MVP. JSN first is the best receiver in the world, the best in the world. However, Cooper Kupp is the MVP of this team right now, hands down. It's not even close. And let me explain.
Cooper Kupp?
Excuse me, not Cooper Kupp. Sam Darnold.
I was like, wow.
Hey, watch this.
That would have been
sometimes,
a heck.
Sometimes I can confuse them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I do that about 6-7 times. 6-7, yeah.
No, we're not doing that. Lyle can do that with you.
Today is the 7th, and yesterday was the 6th.
That's his generation.
Right?
Too old for
Thursday,
this.
Friday, 6-7? Right? No? Okay.
Oh, we got Brock using it in ads now.
Yeah, okay. It's officially jumped the shark. Yeah, when
Oh.
Brock's trying to work in that lingo. so.
Yeah, if Brock is using it, it's a wrap.
That's when it's cringe.
Really?
Or wait, after Brock, and then if it makes it to the afternoon show. Anyways, okay, so let's get back to the whole talk on the MVP.
Sam Darnold, yes.
Sam Darnold is the MVP. You know what? There's a coach that I got this from, so I can't take credit for this. And when it comes to the quarterback position, he said to me, it is better to have no quarterback than the wrong quarterback, right? And I think we clearly can see what the wrong quarterback can do in a situation. That doesn't mean the talent is not there. It just means it's the wrong quarterback. I hate to say this right now, but in Las Vegas, that whole thing, you can see that it's going to go off the rails, like really bad. Wrong quarterback. Miami Dolphins, Tua, wrong quarterback. It is better to have no quarterback than the wrong quarterback. And I think what Sam Darnold did coming here to the Seahawks, oh, by the way, far exceeded my expectations. I can't speak for anybody else, but did I think Sam Darnold would be anywhere close to this? Absolutely not, right? We saw what he did last year with the Vikings. That was good. That was pretty good. But just like, well, I think the Vikings were kind of set up a little bit better, so I started to justify. And then we saw it in the playoffs and what happened. I'm like, oh, is that the real Sam Darnold? Which Sam Darnold will we get when he comes to the Seattle? This Sam Darnold that we're getting right now is just absolutely incredible. Not a quarterback that you can just put in shotgun, a quarterback that gets under center, a quarterback that sees a field very well, a quarterback that just lays out. I mean, some of the passes that he threw against the Commanders, the way he would throw his guys open, again, let me just say this. It's one thing to be open. It's another thing to throw your pass catchers open. And what he has been doing with that has been incredible. And the run game for the Seahawks, it's not crazy. They're only running it like 22, 24 times a game. So it's not, I mean, the run game is sustainable. It's good. But I think we'd all argue that offense goes because of what Sam Darnold is going. And there's a reason why JSN right now is the best in the world. I can't call JSN the best in the world without talking about the person that's delivering the rock. So Sam Darnold, MVP for sure.
Yeah, perfect quarterback for this system as well. I mean, it's got to be a collaborative process because we've seen if you don't have good coaching, you can have all the talent in the world, a.k.a. what he did earlier in his career.
Right.
And that's, I think, what caused the collective amnesia about how good he really is as a quarterback.
Yeah,
highly heralded, highly touted coming out of college, was a great quarterback at USC, a top 3 pick in the draft, but then goes to complete dysfunction. And you kind of forget, well, this is a talented quarterback.
Yeah.
This is a guy that has deserved all these accolades. So you put a guy like that with this system that's all complementary and collaborative, and how one coach plays off of what the other coach does and what this offense has done to help out the pass blocking, which has been the big story of the season so far. And it feels like with Darnold, everything is just working in concert together to maximize his natural abilities.
Can I ask you a question? And all those that are listening, you guys do sports radio all the time. And by the way, I miss sports radio. I miss coming here doing this. This is the best. Now, do you guys show love to the offensive line? Because I remember this time last year, right? Because whenever things go bad, right? When things go bad and things go wrong, who are the first people to get blamed besides the referees? The offensive line. Right? They get trashed. They get talked bad about. Get rid of them. They're awful. for the most part, with the addition of Gray Zabel, and maybe there's a switcheroo at center, this is really the same offensive line. So I hope that we understand that sometimes it's not necessarily the player, it's the system.
Yeah.
Everything, NFL football itself is the ultimate team game. Like, this doesn't work, this has to work for everything to work. So shout out to the offensive line who have been incredible. JSN isn't the best in the world without an offensive line that's pass blocking for a Sam Darnold that delivers the rock.
Well, I think it's because it's easier to see when they do something wrong than it is for us to know when they're doing something right. That's such a technical and skilled position that it doesn't always stand out if they're doing their job, right? You don't want to mention them if they're doing their job. That's a position of anonymity. If they're doing well, you're just like, okay, that's what they're supposed to be doing, and then you see the quarterback make the play, the receiver make the good play. So that gets lost in the shuffle, just like umpires or officials. If they're doing a great job, they fade into anonymity, which is kind of how you assume that position is going to be. So that's why the mistakes get heightened because, he just got blown by for a sack.
I'd argue that most people don't know when they're doing right or wrong, specifically on the offensive line.
But I think it's easy to see. You can judge, maybe incorrect or not. Like, you watch one guy and a defender races by him. Like, he's not blocking well.
No, you cannot judge.
But they do. You know that. That's why.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, what I'm saying is on that play, you most of the time we don't know what the call was, what the play was, right? We don't know if that guy did the other guy forget to pull right there. Did he go and fill that gap right there? Like, sometimes when we just say things, oh my gosh, he missed that block.
But the fan mindset, they just see the result and they're gonna say, well, that's why he stinks. He stinks.
This is just me wanting to give love to the offensive line.
They deserve it.
They deserve some love. And that's the thing. Big guys, big dudes, these are the people on the team that get married first, Mara. The offensive line gets married first. Out of all the position groups on the team, the offensive line, sometimes self-esteem, big guys, insecurity issues, they get married first. So that's why you got to give them some love.
Oh, okay. I was very confused why you turned to Mora on that and why you just threw that out there.
Because I like to throw, more. I don't know why I threw it to you.
I like to use relationship analogies.
Okay.
Because, you want me to throw to Lyle? I throw to Lyle, man. Lyle's like, no, don't even talk to me at all. All right, what else going on?
No, I know, it's tough to kind of just make this abrupt transition because we do keep it lighthearted around here a little bit. But there was some tragic news that you did want to mention. I know you wanted to take some time, so I wanted to let you address this. There's some really tough news that happened in the NFL world with a Cowboys player, Marcus Nealon.
Marshawn Leland.
I'm sorry, Marshawn Nealon.
And the reason why I wanted to talk about it is because even I was in a newsroom and they were like, "Oh my gosh, what suicide? What? Why? Why would you do that?" And there's a lot of people sometimes that just assume, right, when you get to the NFL or you get to high college football or you're in the limelight or people know your name or you just got a contract, people believe that life's great. So why would you go away from there? And the reason why I'm so passionate, Lefko, about this topic, because this very thing, this is something in 2021-22, literally my son went through. I don't know what Marshawn Nealon has gone through, right? I do know and do know about his mental health issues, and I do know the bottom line is he isn't here anymore. And we talk about mental health a lot, but I still think as a society we are behind on it. Now, I know I come in here and I laugh and joke and I'm not really serious about a lot of things, but this topic I am. When you see someone, a 24-year-old, big guy, amazing athlete, 3 days before, just in the game against the Arizona Cardinals, he gets a fumble return for a touchdown. Like, he has a big moment, and you think that's a highlight. Here's a young man full of promise, gone way too soon. But when someone is that strong, that focused, right, I think that discipline right there, when we see something like that, it should make us all pause for a second, because it reminds us that even when we see strength on the outside, that doesn't always match the storm, right, that's going on the inside. When we as fans, I'm a fan, when we see these guys on TV, we see the contracts, we see the money, we might even see the mansions. But happiness isn't in a mansion and it isn't in a paycheck. Happiness is the gap between what we have and what we want. So when that gap feels too wide for a Marshawn Nealon or anyone else in life, when it seems like it's too far and you believe that you're never going to reach that, that's when lights seem dim. I myself went through real bad time in 2012 where my lights was dim. I wake up every day in the cloud, right? Like even if it was sunny outside, I woke up every day with a cloud. So the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because, Lefko, a lot of these guys, you might see they might make $1 million a year. They make $5 million a year, $10 million a year, $20 million a year, $30 million a year. And some of them are young, right? And just because they make that money, that doesn't mean that's where the happiness is. And so many of us feel that when we get to that moment, like, oh, it's going to make us better. Again, happiness is the gap between what we have and what we want. And sometimes what we want gets extended because we look at other people and what they have. So it's a deep topic. May that young man rest in peace. But I really appreciate being able to talk about the severity and seriousness of this topic on mental health.
Yeah, sports are fun a lot of the time, and we do keep it lighthearted. But thank you for addressing that because there are some important things to discuss, and it was a tragic circumstance.
Well, and real quick,
happened.
G, to your point about like how you see this big, strong guy and you see all the good things he has, I think we've come a long way with encouraging men to talk about their feelings too. But I know he lost his mother right before the draft, and he had struggled with some mental health issues. I think a lot of times we still applaud. I've heard players in college who have lost their mom and they get applauded for still playing the game that day or just kind of, toughing through it. And I think we need to encourage people to tell people if you're not okay. And sometimes you don't always have to be strong and just play through it or move on to the next thing.
Yeah. Great call on that, Mara. Seriously, because Marshawn losing his mom a year prior literally was almost the same storm in which my son went through that same thing. So, yeah, and then you go and you dive into football, and if football is not going well, right, and so you're begging for football to be great, and that's your outlet. And then if you don't have that outlet, it gets deep.
Yeah. Well, thank you, too, for addressing that. No, appreciate you taking the time. G, thanks, as always. We'll come back with more here on Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
On a 3-game win streak.
Got a man out there, the ball is caught.
Coming off a dominant win with the entire country watching.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
The Seahawks are back in front of the 12s. Out to show the hype is real. And looking to feast on some desert bird. Seahawks, Cardinals. Sunday at Lumen Field. Kickoff at 1:05. Pregame at 10 a.m.
On the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Pros don't just show up. They prove how it's done, with precision and without shortcuts. Makita tools are built the same way, with a dedication to lasting quality, trusted performance, and results that reward your effort year after year. When the job calls for the best, call on Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Now through November 16th, new Comcast Business customers can get started with 150 megabit internet plus security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and auto-pay with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With a Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Charlie's battery is struggling to start. Not ideal before the tailgate, so he goes to AutoZone,
Welcome to AutoZone.
where a friendly AutoZoner tests his battery for free. Looks like he needs a new one, so he gets a Duralast battery.
Have fun and stay warm.
And he makes it to the tailgate early enough to get his favorite spot. Free battery testing and charging. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
A 15-year-old girl who chewed through a rope to escape a serial killer.
I used my front teeth to saw on the rope in my mouth.
The killer prowled the Pacific Northwest in the early 70s. He's been convicted of murdering 2 young women, but suspected of many more.
Maybe there's another one in that area.
Follow and binge all episodes of Stolen Voices of Dole Valley, available now wherever you listen.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Get in the freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take the bull by the hands.
And Brooke, you are. And Brooke, you are.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
Mike Lefko here with you. And before we move along any further, I do want to kind of get back to what G talked about there at the end. And Maura, appreciate the perspective. You know, that so often sports, we take them so seriously because they are lighthearted. At the end of the day, wins and losses are not as important as things that happen in real life. So for G to kind of bring that perspective about something that Marshawn Nealand was potentially going through in this tragic loss of his life. He committed suicide at the end of 24, and everything G mentioned about, you know, never really knowing what people are dealing with and the challenges that athletes specifically face. And it's a very important topic. It's very important to bring up, and I know it rings true through all corners of our society and for all people that someone's dealing with something that you might not know about in your life, but in a sport like the NFL, where you still have to have that gruff exterior, you still have to be this image of what's expected out of an NFL player. It's not always the case of what people are really dealing with on the inside.
A lot of kind of like suck it up and tough it out mentality that is great on the field, but yeah, maybe can be hard for players off the field.
Yeah, that was an important conversation, and G did have a lot to say, and it was great perspective. So if you missed what we were talking about at the end of our conversation with G, it'll be up on the Brock and Salk Show podcast page on seattlesports.com. And as we kind of transition here, that was a great piece and a great perspective. And now at 9 o'clock on Fridays, we do something where we go back to the best interviews that you guys had this week for you in review.
Brock and Salk present For You in Review.
Time for our weekly chat with Jeff Passan from ESPN.
It's a roundup of Brock and Salk's best guests of the week.
Good morning, Joel.
I think the best dark horse to make the playoff out of the Big Ten is actually Washington.
Let's talk to Coach Macdonald. I think we're learning how to win those types of games where you face adversity.
This is For You in Review, brought to you by the Seattle Sports YouTube page, where you can find the full version of every interview.
Yeah, you can find all those up on the Seattle Sports page. A lot of good stuff every week on this show, and you guys this week. So the reason I realized I wanted to play something from Joel Klatt was not because of the Joel Klatt interview right away, was though because of a Here's the Thing that you guys had, where someone called in and said, yeah, I ignored my wife. She was calling, but I had to listen to the Joel Klatt interview. And if that isn't a resounding endorsement for how good that interview is, I don't know what
is.
And
also, if you haven't gone to the YouTube page to see that interview, you have to see his facial reaction when they told him that Daniel Jeremiah was, oh God, I'm so bad with golf. Where is he playing, Lyle?
He's playing Augusta.
Okay.
Oh, he gets to play Augusta. How jealous was Salk? Was Salk jealous?
Salk was jealous, but Klatt literally could not speak. He was like just downtrodden. He was so jealous.
Yeah, that's fair. Wow. All right. So a lot of good coming out of that Joel Klatt interview, including this nice breakdown about what Sam Darnold does, because, a lot's been made of, all right, how has he helped improve the pass blocking? What has he done to help this offense? Well, how about the fact that Sam Darnold's only been sacked 9 times so far this season, and Klatt broke down what that tells him about what Darnold's doing.
Complete control of the system, processing information, incredibly quick. He's on platform, and he knows what he's looking at, and he knows where the football needs to go and in the timing to do so, and that he has guys that can win and create spacing on time. And I think that's the one part of the equation. Everyone looks at the O-line when sack numbers. Then, more sophisticated people also look at, okay, the quarterback and his responsibility within pass protection. But very few people actually think about or talk about what's the picture being provided to the quarterback, and are those wide receivers providing that picture, winning and creating space on time? And I think that can be at times the more difficult part.
Yeah, it seems like it's a complete effort, right, on offense, why the sack total is so low. The play calling to help the offensive line. The offensive line, then just having good performances. You have a healthy Abe Lucas, Gray Zabel, what he's done this year, certainly along with Charles Cross. The wide receivers, as Klatt mentioned, winning their matchups to allow some windows, even if they are tight. And then Darnold himself making those accurate throws, making quick decisions, and all leading to the Seahawks having one of the best passing attacks in the NFL and only 9 sacks.
I can't remember the last time a Seahawks quarterback has had that few of sacks.
Yeah, I mean,
they're usually near the top.
We've seen 5 and 6 sack games regularly over the past few seasons. That is kind of normal. 3 to 4
Gino
sacks
had one
in a
of
game.
those last night for the Raiders.
Geno Smith sacked 6 times in a game. So it's extremely rare to see what this sack total is right now, and it all kind of lends itself to the notion that, yes, the Seahawks offense is one of the best in the NFL right now. Well, another good thing came from Mike Macdonald himself on the Mike Macdonald Show on Monday after that Commanders win. And Maura, you said this question was kind of based on something the TV broadcast said.
Yeah,
I had missed that as well.
Salk said that Chris Collinsworth had brought up that in their production meeting, Macdonald had let on that this loss still bothers him. So Salk asked about that.
Yeah, and this was Macdonald explaining why that loss back to Tampa all the way back in early October is still bothering him.
I think it starts with me and what it takes to get our team ready to play. That's probably number one. Number two, I told you guys, I think maybe a couple weeks, like get out of the way, Mike. Let the players go play. Don't be an idiot. Like, call good plays. Have a clean game plan. Let them call stuff that the guys can play and play fast that they've been doing for X amount of months now or years, however long they've been here. So that's probably two. And then I think our players realize what it takes to play great football, but how to prepare, like what it looks like throughout the week on a day-to-day basis, and to feel like you can go play your best football. We didn't have great practices at the latter part of that week, and to the guys' credit, they recognized it and they went to work at it.
That does really feel like an inflection point to this season. The 38 points given up. And at the time, we kind of chalked it up to, well, there were so many injuries on defense, especially in the secondary. You didn't have Julian Love. You didn't have Devin Witherspoon. Well, they still, for the next couple of games, did not have either one of those players. And they still don't have Julian Love. But the defense has gotten so much better. And I think that speaks to Mike Macdonald and the way he's wired. And the fact that if something is a problem, he's going to fix it. Or he's going to do everything he can to take the steps to remedy the situation. We've seen that in those subsequent games against the Jags and against the Texans. And really, the offense kind of overshadows what the defense did as well against the Commanders. But there has just been almost an immediate snap of the fingers change since that Bucs loss. And I kind of love hearing that, yeah, that's really not going to go away, because it shows that, all right, the Seahawks are still going to be driven. Even though this team has had success, they're going to be driven to keep getting better on defense the rest of the season. So, yeah, for me, I don't know more if that you felt the same way, but it just felt like, okay, I love that loss is still bothering him weeks later.
Well, and I think what bothers him about it most, it sounds like, is that he felt like he didn't prepare the team properly. And I've heard him say before, like when he said, don't be an idiot, give the guys things they can do. I've heard him say before that Leslie Frazier has to dial him back sometimes. I think he's kind of got like a beautiful mind thing going on with what he can do with the defense, and sometimes that needs to be reined in and you need to simplify it for the players. So I just like the self-awareness that he realizes that.
Yeah. Well, today is a Football Friday powered by Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. A lot more to get to with this Seahawks team and some key injuries to update you on. Then we'll get a little bit of a Cardinals preview from Jake Garcia of 12 News in Phoenix. He joins us at 9:30. So a Seahawks-Cardinals heavy hour coming up to wrap up this final hour of Brock and Salk. Mike Lefko here with you on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
On a 3-game win streak.
Got a man out there, the ball is caught.
Coming off a dominant win with the entire country watching.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
The Seahawks are back in front of the 12s. Out to show the hype is real. And looking to feast on some desert bird. Seahawks, Cardinals. Sunday at Lumen Field. Kickoff at 1:05. Pregame at 10 a.m.
On the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Hi, I'm Andy, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. As a product development manager, I make sure every piece of fine jewelry at Shane Company is meticulously designed for quality. From 14-karat gold chains, pearl necklaces, diamond studs, and of course, dream engagement rings. We know you can get your holiday gifts anywhere these days, but knowing your loved one's gift was crafted by master jewelers? It's a difference everyone can see and feel, no matter the price. All of our fine jewelry begins with a vision by our in-house designers. Then, we ensure each piece meets our high-quality standards every step of the way, including the smallest details. It's why our jewelry comes with our all-inclusive, free lifetime warranty that covers everything and doesn't cost a dime. At Shane Company, there's no shortcuts, just craftsmanship. Because a friend wants your fine jewelry to be nothing short of perfect. Come see for yourself. Visit us in store or at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Ooh, that face. Quantum Fiber Internet loves that face.
That's Jamila.
Hey, Jamila.
She's thinking outside the box from inside the box.
Quantum Fiber Wi-Fi keeps her meeting game strong. From the back door to the front lawn.
Rushing all of the video calls. Back to back to back video calls.
Quantum Fiber Internet blowing the soxies up all those people in all those boxes. Yay to you.
Switch today at quantumfiber.com. Additional pods may be needed to achieve Wi-Fi coverage in some locations. Limited availability. Service in select locations only.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-731-4558 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-731-4558 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-731-4558 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
Guys, tired all the time, gaining weight, low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. Right now, Revive Men's Health Washington is making it easier to get answers with a comprehensive wellness panel. It's not just a lab test, it's where better performance begins. Our providers will check your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. A $400 value for just $99, or free if you start treatment. Over 120,000 men have trusted Revive to restore their energy, mood, and confidence. So if you're ready to feel better and live stronger, call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Offer ends November 30th. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Seattle's rainy season is here. Don't wait to replace your roof. Schedule your free estimate at 3treeroofing.com and get $500 off your roofing project. Our expert team creates a custom plan for your home, ensuring a smooth, worry-free installation even in the winter months. With material prices low and lead time short, now is the best time to act. Stop throwing money at costly repairs. Protect your home this winter with a new roof from your neighbors at 3Tree Roofing. Visit 3treeroofing.com today to secure your $500 discount. 3Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI agent can be set up in minutes to answer calls and questions 24/7, so you never miss a customer, lead, or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
A 15-year-old girl who chewed through a rope to escape a serial killer.
I used my front teeth to saw on the rope in my mouth.
The killer prowled the Pacific Northwest in the early 70s. He's been convicted of murdering 2 young women, but suspected of many more.
Maybe there's another one in that area.
Follow and binge all episodes of Stolen Voices of Dole Valley, available now wherever you listen.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
We just got some injury news that came out for the Cardinals. Their reporter, Darren Urban, says that they'll be without cornerback Will Johnson, cornerback Max Melton, and linebacker Mac Wilson Sr. So that defense has been a little bit torn up now for the Cardinals.
It's been a big thing, like, oh, they have these reinforcements in their secondary that we didn't see the first time, but now maybe not so much.
Yeah, they seem a little bit shredded, especially in the secondary there. We'll get to the other side of this with the Seahawks. The injury report yesterday was lengthy. Now the final injury report of the week comes out a little bit later this afternoon. You can kind of tell if a guy didn't practice on Friday, he's not going to play on Sunday, especially if they don't practice for consecutive days, as was the case for a couple of receivers. Jake Bobo didn't practice for the second straight day. Same with Tariq Young. Now, Cooper Kupp, he did improve to limited in practice, had a hamstring and heel injury. He had not practiced on Wednesday in what was just a walkthrough, what goes to limited. yesterday, so could be trending in the right direction. Torrey Horton, though, goes the other way. He did not practice yesterday with groin and shin injuries. He was a full participant in Wednesday's practice. Wide receivers, always a concern now. We thought, hey, it'd be a position of depth when you brought in Rasheed Shaheed. 4 receivers dealing with some form of injury. And then that's not to mention a couple of other guys for the Seahawks. A.J. Barner, limited yesterday with a calf injury, as was Ernest Jones with his knee. So his final injury report of the week coming out later this afternoon. But, you know, more it kind of feels like, as Brock weighed in on earlier, Ernest Jones looked okay, but do you really want to risk it at this point, especially with 8 games then after this coming up? So
yeah,
I'd be surprised if we see him.
That Ernest Jones and Cooper Kupp want to play their former team next week.
Yeah, I don't know. We know Ernest Jones can play through injury. He did play through a knee injury last year before having that offseason surgery, but we will see what happens. Again, that final injury report comes out later this afternoon.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
MLB free agency is underway. It officially began yesterday. All the concern around the Mariners, certainly with their 3 position player free agents, Eugenio Suarez, Jorge Polanco, and Josh Naylor. And Naylor has been everyone's eye as the key priority for the Mariners, as the one that they need to bring back. And Justin Hollander admitted as much. He was on an interview with MLB Network Radio and said, yeah, Josh Naylor, he is priority number 1.
For whatever reason, he's just always seen the ball well at T-Mobile and sort of instantly took off from the moment we acquired him. And it was a great fit, and it is definitely a priority for us this offseason. You know, if not one, I don't know what else would be. He's number 1 right now.
What was funny, though, is because the 2 hosts then after that were like, whoa, well, hang on. Are you worried about losing any kind of leverage? Or if the player knows that, hey, you really want him, maybe he asks for more, or maybe he becomes a little more difficult to deal with. Wyman always talks about the fact that his agent hated that Dave was like, hey, I'm just willing to play. I'll do whatever it takes. And his agent was like, no, I mean, give me something to work with here. We need to negotiate. But Hollander said pretty much, you know what? Everyone knows at this point. Josh Naylor knows at this point. So we're going to just go out there and say, yes, we really want him back on this team.
Yeah, I don't really see a reason. There's no advantage to hiding the ball, to telling people. It was just fine. It wasn't just fine. It was awesome. It was a great fit for the 2 months, and we'd like to make it last a lot longer. You know, he fits in our clubhouse. Positionally, he fills a position of need. It's a real left-handed bat that plays an excellent first base, that runs the bases well. He does a lot of things well. You know, why wouldn't you say that this would be awesome if we could have Josh in the long term? He fits great, and he's our priority.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, ultimately, money will talk. Who knows what that actual salary will end up being? Kyler McDaniel of ESPN threw out a projection, 3 years, $52.5 million. That's just one guy's thoughts. But if you want to read more about Naylor and Polanco and Suarez, he does have a pretty comprehensive piece out there. ESPN's, their top 50 free agents, breaks down everything that might happen in the pursuit of each one, and then a potential salary projection for each free agent.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
The Broncos are the first team to 8 wins this season. It was not pretty. It was a win, though, for Denver after a block punt late in the third quarter led to a field goal. That was the difference in a 10-7 win over the Raiders. Each team had 10 first downs, and then each team committed 11 penalties. So more penalties than first downs. And according to Bill Smith, the director of Next Gen Stats, that's the first time that's happened in the game since 1976. The expansion Bucks and the expansion Seahawks, both 0-5 at the time, had more penalties than first downs. Broncos, Raiders kind of summing up the toughness of a Thursday night game, and one that the Seahawks will have to face again towards the end of the season. They already had one Thursday night game against the Cardinals. Another Thursday nighter coming up in Week 16 against the Rams. A short week after a game against the Colts. That will not be fun. We don't have to worry about that yet. But yeah, the Broncos are 8-2. On the other side of that, the Raiders are 2-7. And it always seems to be kind of growing louder about Pete Carroll and whether he is still around after this season. Amy Trask, you guys played a cut earlier in the week on this show about, she's a former CEO of the Raiders, about, hey, Pete Carroll might be one and done. Here was Frank Schwab, senior NFL writer for Yahoo Sports, breaking down why he could see Pete Carroll being fired after this season.
I don't think he's the problem. I also don't know that he's the solution either. It was always a weird hire. Why does a rebuilding team hire the oldest coach in NFL history? If he would have gone to like a Dallas, which felt it was like on the cusp of something, then okay, I get it. Like you think you can get a couple of years out of a guy and he could be a contender. And you look now and you say, well, Pete really hasn't instilled this like competitive winning culture, and he's 74. And we're a team that is bottom 5 of the NFL. What are we doing here? What's going on? Like, there's been no signs that he's the right guy there. It's the right fit or anything. And we'll see. Second half of the season could totally turn around, and they're more competitive, and they win some games, and you feel like, oh, okay, there it is. That's why they hired Pete Carroll, to get them on a winning track. But as we sit in here now, I don't know what really the upside for the Raiders would be for him to come back for 2026.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
I don't know. I love Pete, but obviously it hasn't gone well. I also am not a fan, though, of these teams firing coaches after a year. I don't know what exactly you expect. They've been a bad franchise for a while now. Josh McDaniels was too extreme and like hard on players, and then who was it? Antonio Pierce was like maybe too player friendly. Like they just can't seem to find the right.
Maybe Pete was in the middle. They thought, all right, you're right. We had the two extremes. Maybe Pete Carroll's in the middle. It does, though, on the surface seem confusing why they would hire a Pete Carroll. He, as Frank pointed out, he seems perfect for a team where maybe you had a lot of talent and you needed just the right touch, the right kind of message there that a Pete Carroll would bring. Like at Dallas, at the start of the year, you thought, hey, this could be a Super Bowl contender if they had something a little bit different than the previous coach brought in. The Raiders one is confusing, and I guess, my thought would be, too, to echo those sentiments. What would get better next year? Because they're still a dysfunctional team if you had Pete Carroll. So maybe just tear it down.
They obviously need to get together an offensive line, figure out if Geno is their quarterback or not. But I don't understand why you bring in a coach if you're not going to give him the chance to build his own roster a little bit.
It is a mess in Vegas, and thankfully the Seahawks are not anywhere close to that. You see the vast difference between well-run organizations and dysfunctional ones. But we are talking about a well-run one. Now, the teams are playing, the Cardinals, they've had some dysfunction at times. We're going to learn a little bit more about the Cardinals, and then, there's some other things to bring up with Jake Garcia, who used to be a reporter here. He's covered the Diamondbacks and the Cardinals for a few years now in Phoenix. I have some questions about Josh Naylor and Eugenio Suarez from their time with the Diamondbacks as well that we'll get to. So a big comprehensive preview of all things Seattle sports coming up with Jake Garcia. He joins me next here on Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2.
You and I got into a debate. They needed to make a statement. You were like, they're a good team that's kind of flown under the radar, but I think they like that.
To me, I use the word like signature win. I guess you can't make a statement, but I like signature. I like that because signature win is like, all right, be the team you're supposed to beat, like dominate this game. We want to feel like this game is over by halftime, and that's what they did.
Only on Seattle Sports on 710, Seattle Sports on YouTube and the Seattle Sports app.
Oh, man. Let's talk about retirement, guys. Let's talk about what that portion of your life is going to look like when you're done working every day and you get an opportunity to travel or sleep later, whatever it is that's important to you. Those are just a couple things that are always on my mind, especially on cold, dark, gray, rainy days like today. Well, you got to start planning now. You really do. It takes a long time to accumulate what you need to, and then you got to figure out how you want to take some of those disbursements, and you need help. That's why you talk to Trajan Wealth. You can call them at 206-466-3300. Maybe you got an old 401k that you're not sure what to do with. Maybe you need tax help and trying to make sure you're being efficient with the way you're paying taxes. Well, those are part of their core philosophies, like low expenses, manager tenure as well. Just a couple key qualities that differentiate a Trajan Wealth portfolio from their competitors. Call them today. Schedule that complimentary introductory meeting to learn more. 206-466-3300. That's 206-466-3300. Or go to TrajanWealth.com. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement.
Seaport Airlines. If airport slowdowns and delays have you rethinking your trip, well, there's an easier way to fly. Seaport Airlines flies TSA free with service between Portland Business Aviation and Seattle's Boeing Field. No delays, no stress. Book today at flyseaportair.com.
The birth of the American supercar is roaring into LeMay, America's Car Museum, October 25th. Curated by racing legend Steve Saleen, this high-octane exhibition features icons like Hennessy, Shelby, Zinger, and more. Don't miss it. Visit americascarmuseum.org.
Mr. K's Construction reminds listeners many uniformed personnel and healthcare providers will spend this holiday season working hard to keep us safe. These heroic men and women spend long hours away from home, protecting our freedom and providing critical medical care. Please thank them for their many sacrifices and putting their lives on the line for us every day. Happy holidays to you and yours from the entire team at Mr. K's Construction, committed to making your home and our community beautiful since 1977.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
Want more Seahawks content? Join me, G. Scott, on The Reset. New episodes of the podcast every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or on the Seattle Sports app.
Temperatures are dropping, but you don't have to settle for a chilly home this winter. Keep cozy and safe with energy-saving products during Washington Energy's home heating sale on now. Upgrading your home is as easy as $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 off. Take $1,000 off furnaces, fireplaces, and water heaters, $2,000 off high-efficiency heat pump systems, and $3,000 off whole home generators and ductless mini splits, plus free financing. Washington Energy Services, your expert resource for affordable home comfort. Call for a free estimate.
Dave Wyman here, and we've been fortunate to hear from two Swedish CyberKnife patients this year, Andy Ryder and Tim Hunter. Both heard about CyberKnife from our radio ads and completed successful treatment, raving about their experiences. Tim was impressed that treatment only took 5 days. Andy hosted a large international delegation the week after his treatment. If you, a friend, or a family member is diagnosed with prostate cancer, consider treatment with Swedish CyberKnife here in Seattle. Go to swedish.org/CyberKnifeProstate.
What's your holiday tradition? It's G. Scott here. For me, it's gathering with loved ones around a meal that brings joy. For many families, that tradition feels out of reach. Next time you shop at Safeway, please donate to Nourishing Neighbors. Your gift provides groceries to families across Washington, giving them access to nutritious food and the dignity to shop like the rest of us and choose what's meaningful for their holiday table. Visit nourishingneighbors.com and donate at your Safeway checkout. That's nourishingneighbors.com.
It's game time, and Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota Renton are lining up with a roster that's built to dominate the field. The gas-powered RAV4, built to power through every drive, rain or shine. Or switch up the play with the hybrid RAV4, versatile, efficient, and always moving the chains. The Tacoma, tough, dependable, and clutch when it counts. And now, taking the field, the all-new 2026 Toyota Tundra, redesigned, powerful, and built for the big moments. Whether you're in the north or the south, Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton have your winning ride. Visit toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Now, there are normally a lot of Seattle and Phoenix connections anyway. I mean, Alaska has like 30 flights a day down there. But this week, more appropriate than ever, with the Seahawks playing the Cardinals, to bring on this guy, Jake Garcia, sports reporter and anchor at 12 News in Phoenix, former King 5 sports reporter and guy we got to know well a couple of years here. Jake, thanks for joining us this morning on Emerald Creek Casino Sportsbook Hotline. How's it going?
It's my pleasure, Mike. Going great. Excited to talk about this matchup. Excited to be at this matchup in Seattle if my flight doesn't get canceled tomorrow. That's kind of what I'm on lookout for today, because I've been seeing hundreds of flights being canceled across the country just because of the shutdown, and I hope mine's not one of them because I look forward every year to my annual return trip to Seattle. Could be in jeopardy, but hopefully not.
Yeah, okay. We hope you make it up here. And I have to tell you, I didn't realize there was so much Sun Devil flavor on the show right now because the guy who runs our board, Lyle Goldstein, an Arizona State alum as well, he was very excited that you were coming on the show.
I love that. Yeah, I have a lot of Sun Devil pride. This year, it's hard to have as much pride with the team just because they've been so ravaged by injuries and their quarterback especially. It feels like the storyline every single week here in Phoenix was, is Sam Levitt starting for ASU because of his foot injury, and is Kyler Murray starting for the Cardinals because of a foot injury of his own? So it's been just quarterback chaos here in Phoenix these past few weeks.
Well, Jake, I want to get into that because you posted a video from your colleague Cameron Cox about Kyler Murray a couple days ago, and I think to paraphrase what he said was, what, he looks okay, and now he's on IR. Is there some thought that, this might not really be an injury for Kyler, or what's the talk going on down there about Murray going on IR and now Jacoby Brissett as the starter?
There has definitely been talk about the severity of this foot injury, and the timing kind of causes people's ears to perk up as well. Because when you look at the timeline of how everything transpired, it is a little fishy. Kyler Murray returned to the game against the Titans after he had injured this foot. So he was good enough to finish out that game. And then for the next 3 weeks, he was a game-time decision leading up to the game. After the Cardinals' bye, it was expected that Kyler was going to be back in the starting quarterback position. Adam Schefter even tweeted that very sentence out. But then as the Cardinals started to see that Jacoby Brissett has operated this offense at a much higher level, then I think the doubt and the second thought started to creep in. And it's like, okay, well, maybe we can squeeze a little bit more out of this injury than, we previously planned on doing, because Jacoby is playing at such a high level and operating the offense, honestly, better than Kyler has at any point this season. So I'm not going to say that, this injury doesn't exist and that it's all a complete facade, but I do think that it's kind of weird that Kyler was a game-time decision the past 3 weeks. And even on, Tuesday of this week, after Jonathan Gannon announces that Jacoby Brissett's going to be the starter, he's still maintaining that, Kyler is working back from his injury. There's no thought of going on IR. And then the very next day, Kyler's placed on IR. So that timeline to me just doesn't add up. And I think that's why a lot of people are looking at it as, okay, this could be the Cardinals trying to protect both the pride of Kyler Murray, but more importantly, the future value of Kyler Murray if they plan on, trading him during the offseason. I think this move helps mitigate that and make sure that they could get something in return for him. But yeah, it's been a weird, past few months with this whole situation unfolding. I do think I am someone who's in the camp of Jacoby Brissett deserves to continue to be under center for this team, at least until he shows that, teams have figured him out, or he's, proving why he's been on his sixth team in 6 years. I want to see where this goes. And right now, the Cardinals are playing better with Jacoby Brissett as their quarterback.
Well, I do love a good conspiracy theory, so I will continue to monitor that. But, Jake, what does this offense look like with Brissett? And, how different is it since these two teams met back in Week 4?
I think visually it is a lot more play action. It's a lot more under center. And there are probably many reasons why the Cardinals didn't operate like that with Kyler Murray, namely because he likes working out a shotgun because it allows him to see the field a little bit better. But Jacoby Brissett is the height you want your quarterback to be, and that allows the Cardinals to do a lot of different things that they previously weren't able to do with Murray. They ran play action against the Cowboys. I think it was 57% of their dropbacks, which is not only the most that they've run this year, but the most that any team in the NFL has run this year. And yeah, say what you want about, the Cowboys defense not being very good. But this has been building. Brissett looked pretty good against the Colts. He looked even better against the Packers. And then obviously there was that first win last week against the Cowboys. So the play action element has really been a sight for sore eyes. And then I just think, like, vibes wise, to see Marvin Harrison Jr. be fully unleashed and unlocked, and to see Trey McBride score touchdown after touchdown with Brissett, like, that matters. This fan base wants to see those two players heavily featured in this offense. And it was so challenging and such a struggle for Kyler to get them the ball in open space, in the red zone, and Brissett has made it look easy. And I think that's another one of the reasons why, the Cardinals front office and Cardinals fans are really happy about where this offense is at right now.
Hey, Jake, talk to me about Walter Nolan. What did he do for this defense in his debut?
It was unbelievable. I think Calais Campbell was like, he was speechless after the game. Calais Campbell, someone who's been in the NFL forever, watching a rookie line up and do what Walter Nolan did in his debut. Like, that's exactly why the Cardinals somewhat took a chance on him, a guy who a lot of teams felt like, okay, maybe there's character issues, maybe there's work ethic issues. But the Cardinals saw a guy that was violent and explosive and could impact the game in the way that Walter Nolan did. So he missed the first 6 weeks of the season with a calf injury. I think a lot of people were rolling their eyes and being like, here we go again, another wasted draft pick. But, man, he popped in that first game. And it wasn't just, making plays early in the game when nothing's on the line. He was huge down the stretch for them. And I'm really excited to see how he builds on that. I think Calais, said it best after the game. He's like, okay, now we got to make sure that this guy doesn't get too big of a head. We got to keep him grounded. And I think to have, a veteran presence like Calais right next to him, lining up and in the locker room, that's going to go a long way. But yeah, nothing but rave reviews for Nolan in his debut.
Hey, Jake, it's funny, all the Phoenix to Seattle connections that have happened over, the past year or so, certainly with the trades, with the Diamondbacks and the Mariners, and the two big pieces that changed the course of the season for the Mariners. What was kind of the clubhouse like from that perspective, the Diamondbacks' perspective, when Naylor and Suarez left? And was there any surprise that just a year and a half after making the World Series that they were in kind of unload and retool mode?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, the Diamondbacks came into this season with their highest payroll in franchise history, with expectations that they should not only make the playoffs, but be a competitive team to make a deep run in the playoffs. So for this team to start the year so slow and for them to be sellers at the trade deadline, it was a surprise to a lot of people. Hugely disappointing. Yes, they dealt with a ton of injuries to their rotation and especially to their bullpen, and that kind of sunk the season. There was also inconsistency and underperformance from guys that were healthy. And so for them to have to kind of wave the white flag, admit defeat at the deadline, and ship those two guys out, it was solemn. People were upset. People were not happy about it. But I think the clubhouse understood that, like, this is what we need to do to get back to the place where we want to be. I will say, and this might have flown under the radar in Seattle because, the team took off after, especially like the addition of Naylor. He was amazing for the Mariners. But the D-backs did play a much higher level of baseball after the trade deadline. And they had not been mathematically eliminated until the last few days of the regular season. So the D-backs shockingly got better after those trades. Now, I'm not someone who would say that over the course of 162 that they'd be in a better position without those players. But for whatever reason, maybe they got more athletic, maybe they got better defensively. I'm not sure what it was, but the D-backs did play better after the trade deadline, and I think that's something they can build on for next season. Obviously, if I'm the Mariners, I make those deals 10 times out of 10 because – it got them, a game away from the World Series?
Yeah, and Jake, I was going to say, the Seattle perspective a little bit. You worked here for a few years. So I'm just kind of trying to think about, from the Mariners' perspective in the near future, maybe looking at what happened to the Diamondbacks, that, hey, they make the World Series, then all of a sudden a year and a half later, well, they're in sell mode. And yes, it's not apples to apples because the Mariners have a lot of young players, but What do you think that says about the urgency for teams to kind of go for it when they do have that opportunity?
I think when you have your window in baseball, you have to attack it. You have to have a front office that is willing to add pieces and build around your young core, because these opportunities don't happen as often as many teams would like to think they do. When you have a core that has Julio Rodriguez and Cal Raleigh and Logan Gilbert and Brian Wu and all those young controllable assets, go for it. Like, I don't think there's any doubt. After the season a few years ago, Mariners players were saying, look at why the Rangers just won the World Series. They invested in their lineup and they invested in this team during the offseason. Why can't we have that? And that's what this team deserves. That's what the fan base deserves. So I would love for nothing more than the Mariners to still go, fully into this offseason with the expectation that they want to remain competitive. They're not going to say, okay, let's take a step back, reassess where things are at. We had a good run. Let's figure out how we're going to make this work, 5-10 years from now. No, Cal Raleigh just had the most historic season ever for a catcher. Let's get back next year. So I don't have all the, the magic answers and know what the right buttons are to push. Because honestly, who would have thought that bringing back Jorge Polanco was one of those right moves last offseason? I don't know what that magic move is, but I want them to do something. Show me that you're invested in this team in the immediate future.
Well, Jake, we appreciate the Cardinals' insight and then that little look into the Diamondbacks as well. But before I let you go, I'm just curious. I'm going to put you on the spot here a little bit. I always enjoyed the stories that you found here when you were working in Seattle. They were unique in nature. There are things that I don't think a lot of people knew about. Are there one or two stories? Was there really one that stuck with you, or one story from your time in Seattle that you thought, I really enjoyed getting people to know about this? Or what was maybe your favorite story that you worked on while you were here in Seattle?
That's a great question, because there were just so many of them that I felt like truly resonated with the Pacific Northwest. Before I answer that, I just want to say that the colleagues that I had at King 5 were incredible. They pushed me to be better. They helped amplify my work. They took my reporting to a level that I didn't think was possible. So huge shout out to them first and foremost. One of the first stories that I really wanted to do when I got there was one that I had kind of found very deep in the weird corners of the internet. And that was about Sixth Field and kind of the origin story of the Mariners, all starting with a field burning down because of an arsonist. And I think what I learned in that story was that there is such a deep-rooted history and culture of baseball fandom in Seattle that was honestly unlike anything I had experienced before. And it just made me happy. I love cities that feel so connected to their team like that. And so having the privilege of talking to Dave Eskenazi, who's one of the best baseball historians in the Pacific Northwest, and having him kind of walk me through the burning down, first of all, the conditions of this field in the first place. This was hardly Yankee Stadium. It was a stadium that had plumbing issues and had awful vantage points and viewpoints for fans. And then it burned down. And then, years later, and I'm blanking on exactly how all this ties into the Mariners coming to town, but I promise you it did. Mm-hmm. People should look it up. There was just this weird through line to where eventually Seattle ended up getting the Mariners because, the first team, the Seattle Pilots, was kind of such a disaster there. It was an incredible through line, and I learned a lot telling the story. I actually went to the site of where that field once stood. There's now, I think it's a Lowe's that is there. So I visited that Lowe's. There's a baseball plate and a batter outside of it, kind of covered by a bunch of housing equipment. So it was cool to kind of unearth that and to share that story very early into my time there. And then the last one that I did before taking off for Phoenix was on the Whitaker family and kind of, the legacy that these two twin brothers had left in the greater Seattle area and how their sons are kind of continuing it forward with RMI mountaineering and kind of their legacy on Mount Rainier and Mount Everest as well. Very much enjoyed getting to know them and telling that story. But I appreciate, the shout out, Mike, and your viewership and the kind words and your friendship as well during my time there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was hoping you mentioned that Seattle Pilots story, and I couldn't remember the exact full extent of it, but I just looked it up now, and it is great. The title is Remembering the Seattle Pilots. Seattle's first MLB team lasted only one season, and it's a piece that Jake did when he was working at King 5, so I'd highly recommend looking that up. Jake, thanks for coming on. Thanks for all the insight, man, but now more importantly, please get here on time. I hope you can make it up here tomorrow, and then good luck covering the Cardinals this weekend.
Same here, Mike. Really hope the trip happens. And, excited to see you and the rest of Seattle in person.
All right. Thanks, man. We'll catch up soon. All right. That's Jake Garcia, sports reporter and anchor at 12 News in Phoenix. And, yeah, there was just the connection, those ties between, the Cardinals and the Seahawks and the fact that he worked here during a lot of the Mariners run. And I didn't even realize that Lyle was so excited to have him on. So I would have definitely booked him had I known. Did you want to talk Arizona State football? Sorry, Lyle. I had to let him go.
No, that's
We're
all
almost
right.
wrapping up the show.
I'm for the people. I'm not going to derail the whole conversation.
I was going to say last year maybe you'd have a more of a leg to stand on with Arizona State football, but this year it just hasn't been good. So, yeah. But no, he worked on some good stuff. These are some entertaining stories. I think, obviously, with radio here, we're not going to get into the depth and the nature of some cool stories that you can do in the local TV sector. So I would highly recommend checking any of that stuff out. But yeah, a lot of good insight there from Jake about just this offense, this Cardinals offense and how different they might be. So, in these final few minutes, I think we get back to this conversation about Jacoby Brissett. And the fact is, it's a different quarterback, but how much different is this Cardinals offense? Mike Macdonald addressed it a little bit earlier this week about what the Cardinals look like with Brissett at quarterback.
Till they've done, some moving and shaking over their bye, which all good teams do, consistently evaluate and evolve, and they've done that. And I think you've seen the effect of that, of how effective they've been. Even before the bye, I thought they were moving the ball well. They're putting up points. They're playing efficiently. They're taking care of the ball. They're doing a lot of really good things. That's what they're doing. I mean, they were doing that before, but just how they got it done was a little different with Jacoby's a little more under center. They've eliminated some of the quarterback-driven run game that Kyler brings. So there's some differences in how they're operating, but it's been effective. I thought they really dictated terms in the game on Monday night.
Yeah, different, but I don't know. Mara, do you think we're overhyping like one good win for Jacoby Brissett and the fact that it isn't Kyler Murray and the Seahawks have had so much success against Kyler Murray? Is this just kind of playing into the fear of the unknown, essentially? Or are you worried? I mean, or do you think he is going to be
I wouldn't
difficult?
say that I'm worried, but I think it's more of a challenge than last time because I do think that their defense is playing better, and I think Jacoby Brissett just kind of calms things where it's always a little more chaotic when Kyler Murray is in there. He kind of got some things going with Marvin Harrison late in that game last time, but overall they didn't look that impressive. And I just think that they're a more solid, less mistake-prone team with Jacoby Brissett at the helm. So you're going to have to force those mistakes.
Yeah. That is from the Cardinals' perspective there. That's the unknown on offense. You get into the Seahawks, there aren't really things that I'm concerned about, but there are a lot of questions or things we haven't seen yet. Start with the receiving core. And it seems like Rasheed Shaheed is going to have a big role because there are 4 receivers who are currently in some form of banged up for the Seahawks. We'll get the final injury report this afternoon as to who's actually playing. I'm fascinated to see what impact a guy who just got here on Wednesday will have on this offense and if the Kubiak connection does lessen the learning curve for him.
We'll see if it takes, even with him having some familiarity, if it takes a couple weeks to work him in or like Brock pointed out, Darnold and JSN had some chemistry pretty quickly. Maybe it's just bombs away. I mean, he's a guy that can get open. And Mina Kimes pointed out earlier this week that at least we know that Shaheed and JSN are healthy. And she pointed out the way that he can stretch the field also means that the defense is going to have to honor your rushing attack a little bit more. And so hopefully, even with them a little banged up in the receiving core, maybe they can start to get Ken Walker and this run game going. Even though I know we've all loved the dedication to the run, it hasn't quite paid off the way that we would like it to.
I do get back to that at some point. I think you might need actual run production to help you win games. It hasn't hurt them yet. Their loss against the Bucks, you didn't need the run game there. That was just pure shootout, back and forth, 38-35 game. The closest it came to actually costing them, I think, was against the Cardinals, where they couldn't bleed clock and kind of work out a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter. As you watch the Cardinals march down the field and get 2 touchdown drives, hey, chewing up a couple of possessions, getting first downs, maybe that makes for a different game, and the Seahawks go on to win easily. So that's the only thing I point to. But, yeah, you look at the competition, and because it's so backloaded with how difficult these opponents are, at some point they might need to. That's maybe just the one uncertain to this point of the season, because the run game has done exactly what you've needed for the passing attack. But so far, you haven't asked the run game to really win a game for you or put away a game for you.
You know, Moore just talked about it, but I think Rasheed Shaheed really has a chance to do that. Just to like dig a little further on what Mina was talking about, the Seahawks don't get a lot of light boxes. At least they haven't in the first half of the year. So they don't always get the greatest looks in the run game. And I think the expectation with Rasheed Shaheed is they should get more looks with light boxes, which you would think would help Walker, Charbonnet, everybody.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
It would be a little bit of a confidence booster to get that going the way that you would like to and feel more balanced before this Rams game next week, right?
I mean,
I hate to look ahead, but I think everyone has that game circled. I heard Robert Mays, a national reporter on with Bump and Stacy saying, like, that's the game I've been looking forward to in the NFL.
Wyman and Bob bring up a good point. We've talked about this. We can look ahead. You don't want the players and coaches looking ahead, but this is what talk radio is, sports talk radio. We look ahead. Hey, we're looking ahead to the second Rams game in week 16. So we certainly look ahead a little bit, but you're right. With 2 games against the Rams looming, this division game against the Cardinals, and then still somehow the 49ers at 6-2 right now. And yes, those 2 teams play each other this week, but the 49ers with Mac Jones, what might they look like if Brock Purdy does get healthy by the end of the season? So it's just a monumentally pivotal stretch coming up. But we've talked all we
West
can.
might be one of the most intriguing divisions in football right now.
Are we allowed to say the hay's in the barn, by the way, because Brock's not here and Salk's not here, so I don't know. All right, we'll get to that. So big thanks to everyone that was involved in this one. Brock was here for a little bit. He did have to take off. G popped in. I'd really recommend going back to listening to what G said about mental health and the role it has on athletes. It was just some poignant stuff, powerful words there from G. Please check that out on our Seattle Sports podcast page. Click on Brock and Salk. Jake Garcia for joining us to give a little bit of a Cardinals preview and some insight as to the Diamondbacks, then potential Mariners mindset, and then Maura and Lyle. Thank you for all you do. The week is over. We've come to an end here on Brock and Salk. Seahawks, Cardinals coming up on Sunday. Final injury report comes up for the Seahawks later this afternoon. We'll see if Ernest Jones is playing or if he's out this week. But until then, the hay. Are you going to be Brock, Maura? If I say the hay?
It's in the barn.
All right. Bump and Stacy coming up next.
Get to the chopper! Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2.
You and I got into a debate. They needed to make a statement. You were like, they're a good team that's kind of flown under the radar, but I think they like that.
To me, I use the word like signature win. I guess you can't make a statement, but I like signature. I like that because signature win is like, all right, beat a team you're supposed to beat, like dominate this game. We want to feel like this game is over by halftime, and that's what they did.
Only on Seattle Sports on 710. Seattle Sports on YouTube and the Seattle Sports app.
When you're at home and next to your windows, do you notice cold air or a draft when the wind blows? How about moisture or leaking during a rainstorm? Dave Wyman here, and after 20 years in our home, our window seals started breaking. A failed window can do major damage to your home, and the older the window, the more likely it is to fail. That's why right now is an excellent time to have Harley Exteriors come by for a no-charge consultation. That's exactly what I had done over the summer, and not only were they extremely knowledgeable about all things windows, I found them to be polite, professional, and respectful. In other words, people you want to do business with. Harley Exteriors has a special offer for Seattle sports fans. Buy 3 windows, get 1 free. No payments or interest until 2027. And take an additional $200 off your project. Call 833-HARLEY or go to harleyexteriors.com. Schedule your free consultation today. They'll give you an honest assessment and quote. Go to harleyexteriors.com.
Lowe's knows pros want more. Join My Lowe's Pro Rewards for free to get $20 off your first qualifying purchase of $100 or more just for signing up. Plus, enjoy free standard shipping and more ways to save on your next job. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer valid for new members only. Not valid with any other discount. Free standard shipping not available in Alaska and Hawaii. Exclusions and more terms apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/pro-loyalty for details. Subject to change.
Ryan Roland Smith here. For more than 35 years, the NBA Health Insurance Trust has been helping local builders, contractors, and their employees save money and gain peace of mind. They offer customized group health plans from the state's leading insurance providers. Small and mid-sized businesses deserve big healthcare access. The NBA Health Trust brings you the coverage you want at a price you can trust. Find out more at MBAHealthTrust.com. That's MBAHealthTrust.com.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one